If you're going to shoot, shoot, don't talk. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Spaghetti Western Jamboree. Whew, man, flying by the seat of my pants tonight. Tonight, of course, we are talking about the big kahuna. Some people would say it's the quintessential spaghetti Western. I don't know if I'd say that. Probably kind of is. But is certainly easily the best known. They used to show this on TV when I was a kid all the time. They used to show all of the Dollars trilogy / Man with No Name trilogy on TV when I was a kid. Of course, because Clint Eastwood was a big movie star. So while they wouldn't normally show a lot of Italian movies, they would show Italian movies if they had American actors in them. Anyway, this has been, wow. It is one of the most influential films ever made. Cretin Tarantino, as I call him, Quentin Tarantino, has pillaged the Sergio Leone movies for most of his films. This one in particular, I am told, because I refuse to watch a lot of his current stuff. I've never seen his remake of Inglourious Bastards. But I'm told that the beginning of that, for instance, is pretty much like a carbon copy of the scene in this where Lee Van Cleef's character, Angel Eyes, shows up and murders some fellow in his home. Anyway, Leone, of course, at this point, really, batting 1,000. Fistful of Dollars, of course, came out in 64. Here in, I think, 66, was a smash hit. People just went crazy over it all over the world. It was a remake of Yojimbo, actually, a Akira Kurosawa movie. And you should check that out. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. It is a classic, very much in its own right. And so in that film and then Fistful of Dollars, we have the birth of what became known as the anti-hero. And the anti-hero, of course, still a hero, but very cynical, very much not the guy in the white hat. It was a huge hit, so naturally there had to be a sequel, except that sequel is actually a prequel, and that's the movie that we covered last time here, and that is For a Few Dollars More. And a lot of people miss it. But the Dollars trilogy, the Man with No Name movies, are a trilogy in reverse. And that's because in Fistful of Dollars, that character's arc is pretty much complete. And so in the prequels, you see him basically the man that he was before, which is a little bit of a bastard. Let's face it, really kind of a scumbag in many respects, but there is that kernel of goodness that, of course, blossoms and comes into full bloom in Fistful of Dollars. So For a Few Dollars More, definitely a sketchy character. In this, he's just an outright bastard, complete and utter. He is just out for one thing, and that is money. But there is that little tiny kernel of goodness that is shown in one really important scene in this movie. We're going to get into that. But first, let me bring on some of my co-hosts. Of course, we got my man Preston Acevedo. What's going on, son?
Yo, you got other people here too, or is it just me?
No, we got Pops too. What's going on, Pops?
Pops.
What's going on?
What about that treacherous Matt Burke?
Oh, that bastard.
This is old school, man. Preston, you know I'm going to be here for this. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, hasn't everybody seen this? Because I'm talking about it.
If you ain't seen this, you've literally been living under a rock.
Right? Because I'm talking about it like I'm trying to explain it to people, because I think a lot of millennials haven't seen this movie. I know Zoomers for sure as shit have never seen this movie. They've never even seen a Western. Much
Isn't
less
this the most referenced spaghetti Western ever?
It's not even close. It is the quintessential spaghetti Western, really. Part of it has to do with its iconic theme, of course, by Ennio Morricone. Part of it has to do with, naturally, the cast. You've got Clint Eastwood, you've got Lee Van Cleef, who was in the previous film, but as one of the heroes, as Major Mortimer. And in this, of course, he's the villain, Angel Eyes. But then you've also got Eli Wallach, the Jewish Mexican in this, right? Jewish actor from New York, in brownface as a Mexican character, which would immediately get this canceled, which is why a Zoomer, I think, would probably... Actually, you know what? If most Zoomers, I would recommend stay away from this movie. Stay away from it. Don't watch it.
Nah, let him watch it. I might learn something.
And it gets pulled off the fucking internet or off of store shelves or whatever. It needs to be banned. It needs to be burned.
They might learn something.
And this really is his movie. Well, I mean, this is Tuco's story. Really, he gets more screen time than any other character. And I know that Leone wanted to use Wallach again for Duck You Sucker, but Wallach had another obligation. Rather famously,
James Coburn.
James Coburn. Well, I mean, that's the thing about The Man with No Name, right? That was a part that was offered to a buttload of actors, right? And I'm not I can't possibly keep it like a proper order, but there is a proper order somewhere.
But he was 11.
He was right? It was like Henry Fonda, Charles Bronson, James Coburn. It was Richard. I mean, you kept going down the list, and Steve Reeves, the guy who played Hercules.
Chuck Connors, wasn't he offered it too? Chuck Connors.
I think yes. I think so. And I think James Coburn was willing to do it, except they weren't going to meet his price. They weren't going to pay him enough, so he turned it down for that reason. And I think number 9 was Richard Harrison, not to be confused with the British actor Richard Harris, right?
Right.
Richard Harrison had been in a lot of peplums. He also ended up in a buttload of spaghettis, right? He was like one of those American actors that they put in Italian movies to trick people into thinking that they were American movies.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, nah, I got this peplum I need to do, but I got this friend. He's like a TV actor. His name's Clint Eastwood. And so Eastwood was known basically, I think, for being on Rawhide.
Yeah, the kid on Rawhide, yeah.
Yeah, it was the kid, right? Yeah. And he had been in some other TV shows. He played a beatnik in Mr. Ed. It's an old episode of Mr. Ed where he plays a beatnik and has like the little beard and everything.
Boy, he probably wishes you wouldn't remind people of that.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, hopefully, he seems like a pretty chill guy. I would think he would like have a giggle over that shit. And then he's a jet fighter pilot in Tarantula, which is like one of the best of the 1950s giant insect movies, right? And you can tell it's him if you look at his eyes, but he's like a jet fighter pilot, so he's got like that oxygen mask on. But it's fucking.
You're talking about Clint Eastwood still?
Yeah.
Clint was in that. What was that movie where he had to steal a jet from the Russians? Firefox. Yeah, that was a fucking badass movie. Dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I used to watch that over and over and over again.
Excellent spy thriller.
Badass movies, man.
Not as good as the Iger Sanction. Not as good as the Iger Sanction. He's the shit in that, man. I wish that had been successful enough where they'd made the sequel, which is the Lou Sanction, because that character is like one of the coolest characters ever.
Like Clint Eastwood movies is like the woke culture kryptonite. There's so much testosterone.
Toxic levels, toxic degrees of fucking masculinity, yo. No fucking no. That's why it's like, I mean, I always try to like address the audience like they're from a broad kind of a background, right? Because you never know who might be watching.
Do you feel lucky?
Like if you want to instill in your kid, say you got a boy and you're trying to raise him to be manly.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, son, here's every Clint Eastwood movie that was
Clint Eastwood library. You just watch all of these, boy.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like people think
start you off light.
I'm sorry, go
start you off light with the spaghetti westerns. Then we'll move on to Dirty Harry once you hit your teenage years.
Right. But
I'd lead off with Josie Wales and go from there.
Josie Wales was the best.
Those are all tough characters, but the man with no name would tie them all up into a fucking pretzel. He's the hardest motherfucker that Clint Eastwood ever played. They don't go any fucking harder than the man.
My all-time favorites is either Josie Wales or Hang 'em High. Like either one of those.
Hang 'em High is good. That of course that's not an Italian Western. That's an American Western he made. That's really good.
I'm talking about Clint Eastwood. I'm not talking about.
Yeah, right. Outlaw Josie Wales. That's okay. That was directed by Eastwood himself. The two that I really like that Eastwood directed himself and also starred in are, of course, Unforgiven is a classic, instant classic. I remember the audience I saw that with did not fucking like that movie.
It's okay.
At all. Because they came to see Clint Eastwood kick ass. They weren't expecting a revision.
That's what I was about to say. Like, it wasn't as brutal as all his other Westerns. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was good. I'm not saying it wasn't good, but if you were looking for Hang 'em High or The Man with No Name, anything like that, that is not the Western that you should be.
It's a total different, it's almost a different genre.
It's a very mature Clint Eastwood coming at, his reviewing his glory days as an old man.
Well, what happened was the script that was written by David Peoples, the same guy that wrote Blade Runner.
Yeah.
And Eastwood got the script and he read it, and it was called The William Money Murders, because it was supposed to be a script about like this really famous gun battle, right? Like the gunfight at the OK Corral, except a completely fictitious one, right? So it's like the William Money murders, and it was going to be like the true story, like what exactly happened there and what led up to it, etc. And Eastwood got a hold of that, and he read it, and he was like, you know what? I'm going to sit on this. I'm going to just let it wait. And when I'm old enough, when I'm the right age for that movie, then I'm going to make that movie. And that's exactly what he did. He sat on that screenplay for like 20 years.
Well, that's because Eastwood knows where's his bread's buttered.
He's not a fucking dummy. He's not a fucking dummy. He's a really, really fucking smart dude and an excellent filmmaker.
And that's one of the reasons why he wouldn't let people make action figures out of him or anything like that.
Well, he had one.
Or comic books.
Didn't he leave one because he was looking at? There's a video of
now
showed it to him.
Yeah.
A statue or something, and he was like laughing. He was like,
but that's now. I'm talking about then, like then.
Right. He looked like a kid. I played that video, and the expression on his face was childlike, right? And another real quick Clint Eastwood story, since we're very much comic book oriented, artist oriented kind of a stream. When he met Frank Frazetta, when he hired Frazetta to do the poster for the Gauntlet, evidently he was starstruck. That is, Clint Eastwood was starstruck by Frazetta.
Right.
And Frazetta evidently got a real kick out of that.
Well, Frazetta, I don't think I'm wrong in saying this, is that Frazetta is the guy who like injected testosterone into the sci-fi and art field. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Frazetta was a man's man, like
was.
In his personal life. Like most of those poses where he's like chopping people's heads off, that's Frazetta posing for that shit. Yeah, and that's what he looked like with his shirt off.
Yes. In the gauntlet, right? Clint's all like just shirt's all ripped up and fucking muscles are popping out and veins are bulging. That was Frazetta.
Yeah.
True story. I lived in Phoenix when they filmed that shit. When they filmed the Gauntlet, that's where they filmed it. It's in Phoenix, and it's like in front of the Civic Center, I think, is where the final shootout is. Not actually the Capitol, but you know what I mean. It's they rode that bus down I-17 and drove it into downtown. It's like all fucked up. Everybody's shooting at it. It's like they blocked off a whole bunch of the city to do the filming of that movie. It was crazy.
Shit, I man, that's awesome. What the Gauntlet was about. You said the bus. I remember that bus, dude.
Well, you know what the Gauntlet is about? The Gauntlet is about shit getting shot 500 billion trillion times. Everything in that movie that gets shot like 500 billion times, right? Like there's that scene, and it's meant to be comic, because I think some critics were like goofing on it because of that. It's like, no, it's supposed to be funny, right? Like when they used in the house of Sandra Locke, and they just, or the motel, and they just fucking riddle it with gunfire.
Let's be honest, it was the John Wick of its time, is what it was.
It was, man. It was like shoot 'em up shit, big time. Big time.
The fucking
they had cops like lying in the street shooting at that bus.
They're making a remake of that, and you want to know something else? This is really fucked up news. Because normally I do like the Week in Horror for like the horror stream. Don't really do like the Week in Spaghetti Westerns because it really just comes down to like DVD releases, Blu-ray releases, that kind of a thing. Most people don't give a shit about that, but there's a remake of Fistful of Dollars coming along.
What?
Yeah.
Starring Clint's son.
I first of all, I don't know if this is actually even really going to happen. I suspect that it may not.
They need to leave movies that are perfect alone.
Yes.
Yes. Remake shitty movies. Don't remake good movies.
Then again, they're probably looking at the box office on some of those shitty movies, and they're like, "Oh, I just never did very well. We shouldn't remake these."
It's not just shitty movies. It's shitty movies that were supposed to be good.
Right, but they went like
go fix them.
They zigged when they should have zagged.
Yeah, go fix those movies.
Go fix those movies. But here's the thing. Those movies were generally not successful. And the reason for remakes is because, well, it was successful, back 20, 30, 40 years ago. So
Yeah,
let's
nobody's filling these
Let's
shoes.
remake it for a brand new, younger audience.
Nobody's refilling these shoes, and they're not going to make it better. So
Let's make the main character in Fistful of Dollars a younger, more teen-looking version of Clint Eastwood, with more
they can have a dance party.
feminine spectrum to his personality.
Timothy Chalamet is probably who I would imagine they would.
They can do the dance party on the street with that. You know what I'm saying? In LA or something. The remake dance party.
So the original. All right.
The
So the original Dollars
Just
trilogy.
redo
Xanadu. Now
Bang bang!
Actually, you know what? Really quick, let me before we get into this, let me pimp the new campaign for the new Six Gun Gorilla, or as Wenger would say, Six Gun Gorilla. Everybody who's not aware, I got this comic book called Six Gun Gorilla. The Long Days of Vengeance is the name of the series. This is the second trade paperback collecting issues 7 through 10. It's called The Great Silence. And yeah, we are funding right now on Fund My Comic. This is going to be awesome. As you can see, the art by some guy I heard of by the name of Preston Acevedo.
Who injected some
I
testosterone.
I wish I could meet this guy.
I know, right? I know. I'd be impressed as fuck. I'd be like, bad. I'd be
It'd be cool if I could just hang out with him once in a while, like even online. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fucking phenomenal. There's also a Fund My Comic exclusive cover by Dillard. That's this piece right here, which is fucking sweet. Beautiful. You can get both trade paperbacks. You can for a discounted price of $45. If you're a floppy guy, you can get new issues 9 and 10 for $20. You can also get just issue 9, just issue 10. In other words, there's something here for everybody. If you want to just get the first volume graphic novel / trade paperback, you can get that too. As you can see, Preston is practically done with the pencils for issue 10. He's finished the pencils for issue 9. We're already into colors. We're already into letters. You are not going to be waiting forever for this. And if you just want to kick the tires and see if this is something that you would get a kick out of, on this page, you can find the first 9 pages posted for free. And what can I say? Issues 9 and 10 are all action, just straight up Gorilla versus Zeppelin mayhem. And every order is going to come with this Wanted poster by the late great Adrian Sibar, who illustrated issues 1 through 7. You're going to get this 3 a.m. sticker, which is going to be I've done a 3 a.m. sticker before. Did I say 3 a.m.? No, 6 a.m. What the fuck is wrong with me?
6 a.m. Yeah.
MC,
I can tell you,
Marianelli.
one thing that I admire about Adrian's work that I couldn't duplicate was his ability to bring realism and a sense of comedy to the work.
Yeah, he was a real talent. I miss him terribly. He's no longer with us, of course. Preston, much to my joy, stepped in to resume the art duties. And, he always had kind of like a cleaner style, almost like a pop art style. And I actually managed, although he could be pretty versatile, but we kind of worked together and met each other halfway, and we ended up with a style that both of us were happy with. And that was really important to me, and I think that the results speak for themselves. Now, if you're a month 1 backer, you are going to be getting this limited edition print by Adam Miller, which, let's face it, this is totally cool. This is just fucking awesome right here. He did this as a trading
That's pretty
card
cool.
for his campaign. You think? And he told me I could use it for anything other than a trading card. So big ups to you, Adam. Week one backers are going to get this print by Matt Slay. And anybody
Let me see that print again. Go back to it.
This one right here?
No, the one by Matt Slay.
That's right there, son. And you can also
at first I thought the balloon was a planet for some odd reason.
It's a Zeppelin coming right at you.
No, it did, doesn't it?
Right,
because it looks like a. Yeah.
It's a Zeppelin coming right at you.
Yeah, I love what he did with this.
Good colors on there though. I like
you can get the you can get that right here. That's going to be a issue 10 limited edition cover. If you're an Indiegogo person, you can go to Indiegogo and you can get the trade paperbacks. But if you want the cool shit, you want the fly shit, you got to go to funmycomic.com. And then, of course, he has a little note here to people that backed the previous Indiegogo campaign. You're getting all the cool shit. And also, there is this limited edition 6-gun Gorilla 3D printed figurine, which was manufactured by my boy, Simon Poitier, my Quebecois brother.
I just need 9 and 10. That's all I need.
Beautiful.
9 and 10. Oh, he's cute. Isn't he cute?
Well, I mean, that's why I have a tier for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So it's like if you've already been collecting the floppies, or if you just want the floppies, you can just get the floppies.
Yep.
I
have 1 through 8. I'm really happy with 1 through 8. Now I need 9 and 10, and I'll be there.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, the critical response has been overwhelming. Everybody who reads this book loves this book.
It's funny, B, because I did a little rearranging today of some of my indie comics. I took everybody who has an actual series of more than 2 books and put them in a box of their own.
Yeah.
Ended up overflowing a short box any fucking way. I can't get this figured out.
Well, look, I mean, that's one of the reasons I'm like a TPB guy. Not that I don't enjoy going through long boxes. There's always going to be a certain thrill in that, right? We're always going to, because it brings you back to your childhood, and it's like a tactile thing and all that.
I'm always going to have boxes of comics around me. Too.
Right.
It's just,
Hey, did you?
I just love the convenience of it.
The thing with me is that you put them in a bookshelf, and none of them are the same size. Everything's all fucking fucked up. Some like, you know what I mean? It's like there's nothing uniform about trades, and it pisses me off because I wish I could just buy them and put them in a bookshelf.
I love trades. The only thing that I don't like trades when they're like if it's too many pages, it becomes a problem because a lot of the art and text gets lost in a groove. You know what I'm saying?
That is a fact. Absolutely.
That's probably that's one of the main reasons why I think I'm going to do saddle stitched on most of it. And if it becomes too big of a book, I'm just going to break it up into 2 issues or something like that.
Like a Hell Knight.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, because I was thinking about it. I was like,
I don't want to miss the stuff in the middle, especially those splash pages.
That's what I'm saying. And if you do this wild double page spread, you can't really spread it open. You know what I'm saying? Because it's everything.
I know exactly what you mean. Another reason I like floppies, man.
Did you guy does, or you're just kind of like how much can I bend this where I'm not going to break the binding?
Yeah,
right.
It's another reason I love floppies, man. I can look at the whole freaking thing. I can open.
I'm gonna give up some publicity real quick. Did you guys hear of a book called Automata?
No. Share the link, my brother, man.
So this is one of and at the first time they launched this book, I was like, I'm not paying that much for a 32 page, 20, 22, 24, 32 page. But then they came back and they got all 6 issues and it's wrapped up into one big book for $39, right? And I was like, okay, now I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? Here, I'll send a link. I'll put it in the private chat. But yeah, because I've always been really impressed with the artwork in this book. And it's in there.
Let me
black and white.
let me just really quickly address what James Hurley said. Wasn't Last Man Standing a remake of Yojimbo? Yeah, it is. And then there's also The Warrior and the Sorceress, which is a sword and sorcery reimagining of Yojimbo with David Carradine. You can find the trailer for that on the YouTube. It's fucking cheesy as fuck, but it's actually kind of a decent watch. It's actually kind of fun. But yeah, no, it's the exact same story. But yeah, you were saying, homeboy, did you post the link?
No, I was like, it's just as metal as you could possibly get. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's 6 issues now, and they only have like a few left. Like they're only putting out like they just got like 10. You know, and 5 of them's already been claimed.
That looks
the work, dude. The artwork is that covers shit. But look at the art.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like this. It never crawled under my radar. I just didn't think I was getting enough. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hell yeah. Nice. Oh, that looks fucking dope, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it look. I just want to get the word out a little bit about it because this looks fucking insane.
Well, there's some amazing books out there, and you're just kind of like, why didn't I hear this before? Why am I only just now hearing about this? That's how I feel about this. This looks fucking great.
Yeah, it's nuts. And I like black and white books done like this. Like,
yeah, me too.
I think it's pretty bad.
Me too. Yeah, I mean, you know me. I'm a black and white stan. Sometimes color does look better. Like I got this in the mail the other day. I'll come right back to this, but got this.
Oh yeah. That's Russ Leach, right?
Yep. And when I saw the black and white art, I was like, "Oh, this has got to be black and white, right?" And then I look at the color. I'm like, "Nah, this is better with color." Also, it's like the Red Slayers are wearing red, right? So that also helps. But yeah, this is fucking dope. This is really, 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 really good. I was really, really happy with this. I've read at least like 4 or 5 different adaptations of this story. This is the best, for sure. Yeah, it's really fucking cool. But this looks really freaking cool too.
Dude, this is straight up metal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it is.
It's like sick. So I was like, I just want to turn whoever is interested in stuff like that, like onto it, you know.
Hell yeah. And folks, understand this too. Even if you can't back a book, just sharing the link makes a huge difference. That looks great, man. I'm sold. Yeah. It's like everything I'm seeing is just like, yes. More of that. Yes, please.
Sign me up. I'm good. That'll work.
Sign me up. That's fucking great, man. Hey, if he ever wants to come on here and pimp that shit, he is certainly
it's by Pulp Star Comics. I don't know, like it's not. I guess it's not one guy. It's a publisher, I guess.
Well, it might be, but I mean, you know, I've got Two-Fisted Comics, but that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
great. Hells yeah. Oh, and speaking of black and white comics, I also finally got around to reading this bad boy right here. Mosaic.
Yeah, I got those. Yeah.
By Kyle Holtz. Oh my freaking
It's
God.
raw, but I got to tell you, I think I like his artwork. The art he did in there. You know what I'm saying? Rather than his style now, because it was a lot raw. Like it was raw.
Well, he creates this world. The detail is just sick. It's completely out of control. I really, really love this. Yeah, and you see, this is the kind of black and white artwork. You look at this, you're like, no, this cannot be in color. Right? It'd be like taking like a great old like black and white horror movie and like
some things just shouldn't be in color. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, Holtz is like one of the greatest talents that we have. I hit him up a long time ago about doing a 6-gun cover, but then money problems and everything. Oh, and I got this in the mail today.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good.
I
haven't seen it. I haven't seen the interiors.
Oh, you haven't? Yeah.
But a backup story I did. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Oh, I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah.
Not so sure about this cover.
I just mailed off the cover to the buyer that bought it.
Oh, like the original canvas?
Yeah.
Look at that. I
don't know. Sometimes, it's kind of crazy. Like sometimes I get in the mood where I just don't want to part with a piece, but I know I have to.
I've always wondered that about artists, right? It's like, how do you, like, are there certain things that you have a problem parting with? Do you not have a problem parting with things, et cetera, et cetera?
I do have a problem. Like sometimes, like one time, I don't know if you ever seen that piece I did where it was like the Monkey King of the Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
And he was like on his throne and he had all these different types of monkeys all around him. But the king was like the silverback gorilla, And
right.
And in the background in the cave, there's sculptures like in the walls of the cave of monkey heads, gorilla faces and skulls and shit like that. Well, the guy who bought it, he bought it for a pretty good price. I think I sold it for like $2,500, something like that. And which was kind of cheap at the time because it was a 24 by 36 piece. And but I always want to get that back from him.
Well, dude,
because it was,
brother, man, damn it, brother, man. This is why when you sent me that 6-gun Gorilla Iron Maiden piece, I told you I'm hanging on to it for you. Hanging on.
I told you if you get sick, that motherfucker.
You ever want that shit back? You're just like, I think I could maybe don't worry, I got you.
Yeah, dude, I was always like, there's certain pieces that I just regretted getting rid of. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. So
black,
what
white,
I'm saying,
red.
Yeah. So
It's a fight scene. I don't know what he did with the fight scene because I sent him the raw files. He just let Vaughn do whatever he wanted with it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Big ups to our friend Von Klaus.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's cool. All right.
That look good to you?
Yeah, looks pretty.
I gotta say too.
Cutting that chick in half is just the cherry on top of the sundae.
It's very Preston.
Well, Vaughn said he kind of wanted a bird's eye view of him like cutting it. And at first I was like, how the fuck am I going to pull that off? Then I realized it's anime. Like it's the Wild West. You can do whatever you want.
Right.
So
yeah, it's not meant to be an accurate representation of reality.
No, not at all.
I mean, comic book art never was, That's what I find so funny about the whole, like, where are her organs thing, right? It's just like, did you notice that, like, Batman and Superman, it's like their costumes look like they're spray painted on? You can see, like, muscles and veins and shit, right?
Well, that's what they say, like, all superheroes are naked,
God damn, man. But yeah, no, cool shit in the mail. And man, there's just something fun about getting comics in the mail. That's just always kind of cool. Always kind of rad. Always kind of rad.
I got cool shit in the mail.
Out there, Pops. Oh, that's the novel, right?
Yeah. Proof copy. Proofreading it.
Nice.
Nice. Proofread for Chris Brown right now on this.
Nice.
Good stuff too, man. I'm telling you, we play RPG based on this town. He's got graphic novels, tabletop game based on the town. Just there's lore behind the town. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like this is real. This ain't no splash in the pan. God, that guy did a book. No. Like 17 campaigns, different stuff that he's done. The Gods of Metal game, all that shit, man.
Yeah, man.
Chris's fucking body of work is deep.
That's awesome, man.
Oh, did you guys hear that Joe Vigil has a new Cowboys in Hell?
Does he really?
It's about time.
Not Cowboys in Hell. It's what's their name? The chick from Cowboys.
Sinbug.
Sinbug.
Yeah.
The new Sinbug. Actually, I think he's got 2 new Sinbugs out since the last time I bought it. I contacted him, but he's not contacting me back about getting them.
He
He's
sent
not a
me
Twitter
the
guy. He's a Facebook guy.
That's what I'm saying. I contacted him on Facebook. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He sent me all that stuff. The all the stuff that he had up to like a year ago when he sent it to me. So
Well, it ends at 12 issues, and he's getting really close to his 12th issue. He's trying to do it before he dies. Yeah.
Right. It's his life's work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you start this movie and the whistling starts and it's all over.
I always call this a hangout movie, right? Because one of the things that's so amazing about this movie and why it's so quintessentially Leone is because, like, one of my rules as a writer is get rid of every scene that doesn't move the story forward. The plot to this is very simple. It's very, very bare bones. You've got these 3 characters. They're all absolute bastards, and they're all out for one thing, and that is the gold. That is the money. That is the dinero.
Yep.
And why is this movie like almost 3 hours long? Because Leone drops scene after scene after scene that doesn't move the story forward, and then he stretches scenes out. He does everything that you're not supposed to do, and it's fucking mesmerizing. It's just incredible.
What was mesmerizing is the link you shared about the movie, and it was in a completely different language. What the hell is this?
What? Deadline?
Or The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It wasn't in English.
Oh, wasn't? Oh, okay. Oops. Well, gee, then maybe some motherfuckers might actually have to go out and buy a fucking copy or rent a fucking copy.
I don't think that's the point of. I don't think that's the point of the horror movie club.
Well, fuck them.
Yeah, he wouldn't say that over there. He'd be like, "I've seen this golden."
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna listen to the show, but I gotta head out because I gotta go ahead and finish cleaning up the office.
You got it, brother. All right, good seeing you, man.
Later.
Much love. When I first got a DVD player, what's the fucking first thing I buy? It's this, right? I had this at Costco, actually, and it was the set, right? Because I think the movies I bought after this were, I think they had Destroy All Monsters for like $10 and the original Richard Donner Superman. These are okay. These are alright, but the movies deserved better. This is the restored DVD, which is to say, by restored version, I mean they actually found scenes that had been cut out of the movie and they cut them back into the movie. So the movie's even longer. And
so somebody had actually somebody actually went into the editing room floor and picked all that stuff up and saved it. And then put it back in the movie later.
I mean, look, sometimes things are discovered, right? Sometimes things are discovered. I know, like with George Romero, he had been looking actively for a 3-hour print of Martin, and had in interviews would say, "Yo, I know there's a 3-hour print of Martin out there. Somebody finds it, hit me up and let me know because I want to release that shit." He had it all along. It was like in a film vault that where he kept all his shit. It's just he lost track of things, but it's been discovered now. One scene in particular had Lee Van Cleef, so they had to have another actor come in and dub Lee Van Cleef's lines, because the thing is the scenes that were cut, since these movies were never shot with sound, right? The way Italian movies were shot was an international, right? The movies themselves were international productions, They were Italian, German, Spanish co-productions. And so you had actors from all around the world, and everybody would speak in their own language, but they weren't recording sound. So that way they could dub it into any language, and then if the actors gave enough of a damn, they would come in and dub their own lines, which for the Leone films, thank goodness, everybody did. The international release of this was, I think, I should say the international release. I should say the American release, I think, was in '67, and Clint Eastwood was already a star at that point, so they kind of like almost released them like back to back to back, and that's one of the reasons they were so insanely popular. But for this, yeah, it even has a little stamp on it, special edition. There's also a scene with Eli Wallach and a scene with Clint Eastwood, and they came in and they were, still around, thank God, and recorded original dialogue for those scenes. And you could tell the difference in their voices. They were a lot older, right? So you notice it, but that's all good. That's all right. And the actor that they did to fill in for Lee Van Cleef just did a spot on. What's up, Jeff? What's going on?
Jeff came in going, "Oh, it's not the horror movie club." Shit.
I was like, wait a second. What's with the spaghetti westerns today?
We alternate, and soon we're going to start doing Kung Fu theater, too. I want to start covering some Kung Fu movies.
I approve. I mean, like, you couldn't have picked a better Western than this. I mean, like, the king of the spaghetti Westerns right here.
Yep.
For sure. I always say that when it comes to, like, the spaghettis, that when you're having a conversation about the best, you kind of... They're two separate conversations. One is if you're just including all of them. The conversation for me is always, what are the best non-Sergio Leone spaghetti westerns, right? And fortunately,
Wales.
That's not a spaghetti.
That's non-spaghetti western. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the best.
I'm saying non-Leone spaghetti western.
Oh,
I'm not saying non-spaghetti. I'm saying non-Sergio Leone spaghetti. Because the Sergio Leone movies, that means Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars more, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Once Upon a Time in the West, Duck You Sucker. Those are the best.
Duck You Sucker. Man, that's a great one.
Awesome. Yeah, we did that a few weeks ago.
I jumped straight from those ones to the Terrence Hill stuff because I just love that.
Oh, Terrence Hill, man. Are you kidding me? Trinity? Yes.
But Spencer Terrence Hill.
Come on, Doc.
Did we do both Trinity movies on here, or I think we just did the first of the...
I think we did the first one. But yeah, I mean, I love the one... I told you about the one that they...
I mean, like,
they made a remake of the poker tournament one without him, when they cut out everything with him out of it.
Yeah.
And renamed it and released it as a different movie. It's the same movie with the same people.
They would do that often. Like, you would have like a Sartino or Django, and then like that's so popular, they didn't have the same actor to do the film, but basically they just got somebody else. They called the film something slightly different, but then you just call him like Sartino and Django in the dub.
Yeah, well, they had the devil in the one. They had the devil in the one, and they had Terrence Hill in the other one.
Mm. Right.
We
did
it was all the same. All the scenes were those same scenes with those same people. The ones that didn't involve Terrence had the devil. The ones that involved Terrence had the devil instead. You know what I mean? And they made two movies out of the same film.
And like you can do anything with editing and a little bit of extra footage shot.
Yeah.
Yep. Fred Williamson famously said he was very surprised when he discovered that there was a Black Cobra 3. Black Cobra, if you're wondering, is basically Cobra, the Sylvester Stallone movie, with Fred Williamson, right? So it's called Black Cobra. It's pretty much like Truth in Advertising, right?
Nice.
So he did 2 of those, and then he was just like, wait a second, there's a Black Cobra 3? I don't remember shooting that. And then he watches it, and sure enough, it's just cobbled together from bits and pieces of Black Cobra and Black Cobra 2.
But then sometimes
they're shameless about that shit.
What a lot of people don't know is films are shot in such a way that you have 3 times as much footage as what actually makes it into the cinema.
Yep.
So you can end up recutting a film. This is why when you'd see a film come on TV, they'd have a different edit, so it's new and exciting for you. And sometimes producers would do sneaky little things, like the original Three Musketeers with Michael York was shot, as far as the actors were concerned, as one movie, but they actually broke it up into 2 different movies.
Saves money.
And they did the same thing with Superman 1 and 2. That was shot back to back.
Yeah.
It was shot all in one. And
well, that was the South Times.
Yeah, and so when they needed to reshoot, the actors in both cases renegotiated their contracts to get more money, because they say, well, if you're making 2 movies off us, we need to get paid for 2 movies.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They would do that. They still do that as a cost cutting measure. Mm-hmm. The Lord of the Rings movies, for instance. Yeah. Being the most famous example. They spent like over a year shooting those damn things. Because it saves a lot of money. It's not like you have to build everything and then tear it back down and then put it back up again.
No, it makes logical sense. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, but then if you have a bomb, then you're in trouble. Yeah. And that's why they didn't shoot two back to back, because they weren't sure. They weren't willing to gamble.
They definitely bet the bank on the Lord of the Rings series.
Yes, very, very, very much so. And Peter Jackson pitched it as one movie. Mm-hmm. And then Bob Shea, the head of New Line, said, well, gee, that doesn't sound like one movie. That sounds like 3 movies. Mm-hmm. It was like, okay. And he, what up, Matt?
Yeah, Matt.
Oh, what's up, guys? How you doing?
There he is.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, shit.
Your
is
breath
it?
smells like poo. No. What up, Matt?
What up,
cheers,
dude?
man.
Thanks, man.
Happy birthday, brother, man. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Just got back from from having some tacos. There's this new spot that everyone's raving about on TikTok, and fucking had to go there. These deep fried tacos. Had some of those. Pretty
deep
good.
Fried tacos.
Oh, it sounds good. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Tasty.
Pretty greasy though, man. Pretty greasy. And some carnitas and some carne asada.
Oh, you gotta have that shit sometime.
10-pack with a big old bucket of red sauce.
Happy birthday, motherfucker!
Yeehaw. But look, it's very simple. It's like you can eat like that. You just can't eat like that every day.
Yeah, no, I get that. No.
I'm impressed that you had a happy birthday sign at the ready.
It wasn't even loaded. It didn't take me. It took me that long to find it and load it, and then show it.
Yeah, man. He's a wizard at the keyboard.
I've been doing this for a while. It's pretty second nature now. As long as the file, as long as I know where the file is, I can get it that quick. A lot of times I'm like, oh shit, where's that one? I want to show that. Then by the time I show it, it's not even relevant to the conversation anymore. That one was pretty quick. I know where that one is.
Just taking a look at some of the posters here. Some of these are official. Some of these are fan made.
Nice.
All good. All
like
good.
that one right there. I think that's really cool.
I love the one from a few clicks back. There's like the 3 eyes as they're all looking at each other. That one's good. And then like a little bit further back
from the showdown at the end, of course.
Yeah, just the tight shot on all the eyes.
Yep, because it's Sergio Leone we're talking about here, and he's all about those tight shots. All about those tight shots of those sweaty faces and those interesting faces too.
And you gotta love that. One of the guys I podcast with when we discuss films, Lance is one of these guys who still likes to shoot on actual film. He's all about preserving film.
Right.
So I like to call him like he's a bit of a snob because he likes his film, and I get it. But I shot everything I did on video because it's just so economical. But I appreciate film. And one of his comments is like when you see something like a Western and one of the things we like about like these medieval things, and even the things George Lucas did with Star Wars, is they make it look lived in, dirty, and gritty. You know, if you're not in the shining palace of like the Hunger Games, you need to see the people are living in the dirt because they're struggling, and
Right.
that's what you got to appreciate about these
Right.
spaghetti westerns in particular. Because remember, in American cinema, remember how clean all the westerns looked until the spaghetti westerns came out.
Of course. And I always draw that distinction between the spaghetti West and the fictional West of Hollywood, and then, of course, the real Old West. These movies had such an effect on people that I remember a friend of mine was watching Tombstone with me. This is like when it had first come out, right? And I missed it in the theater, and I rented the tape. And he's watching it with me. It's like, this is bullshit, man. Look at how like clean everybody is. Look at how well dressed everybody is. I'm like,
where's the trail
Tombstone.
dust?
Yeah, it was actually like that.
But in Tombstone, yeah, right.
Because Oscar Wilde did a tour. You know, the guy who wrote The Importance of Being Earnest, and then, of course, most importantly, the Picture of Dorian Gray.
Mm-hmm.
He toured the Old West, and on a reading tour. A lot of writers did this. Dickens came to the United States and toured, right? Did a reading tour. But specifically, Oscar Wilde was in the Old West, and yeah, of course, there have been many stories and novels and shit written about Oscar Wilde in the Old West. And when he came back, he said, I was expecting to see people, you know, with like dirt under their fingernails and just in buckskins and shit. And he said, I couldn't believe my eyes. He said it was the best dressed population I had ever seen in my life.
It sounds like he had more of the Deadwood experience, where they kind of civilized an area, but they, you know, it's the West, but there's a couple of different layers to the Old West.
Oh, for sure. But the Spaghetti West is a completely fictional world, right? This is always my favorite example when it comes to how completely historically inaccurate the Spaghetti Westerns are. A large part of the plot of this takes place in Texas. That's where the gold is, right? And one of the things that's keeping our heroes, in quotation marks, since they're all really shifty characters, Tuco,
Right.
Blondie, and Angel Eyes, one of the things that's keeping them from their goal is this bridge.
Yes.
Right? Where they're the North and the South, the Civil War, are fighting. And so every day people make a charge on this bridge, and nobody can seem to get the upper hand. It is just a stalemate. They are just throwing bodies into a meat grinder at this point. Now, the problem with this is the Civil War was never fought in Texas.
No.
In fact, one of the plot points in my comic, Six Gun Gorilla, is that they're in Texas to stay away from the Civil War.
That's the Alamo. Texas Rising.
Right?
Just throw it all together. Same thing.
They gave zero fucks. And the thing is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt these movies in any way, because you are in the Spaghetti West, and it is another dimension.
Yeah, it's off.
Well, it's like
its
the
own world. There's something otherworldly and uncanny about it. You get a feeling sometimes like you might be in hell or purgatory. It's 100 times more violent, dirtier, meaner, nastier than the actual Old West was. Certainly 100 billion times more violent, because gunfights weren't that common. And in this, people are getting gunned down all the time.
I was talking with somebody about Jaws, and talking about how a proficient director can make you forget about reality.
Yes.
And there are some things in Jaws, like a glaring faux pas in Jaws is, you remember the scene, the classic tension-filled scene where Quint first hooks the shark, and he's in the shark seat.
Yes.
You know, the fishing seat, which is bolted to the deck of the ship.
Yeah.
After that scene, that disappears. You never see it again.
Well, it's a continuity error, yeah.
It's a big continuity error, but like it doesn't matter. I didn't know that for like 20 years. And thinking back on it, like if that chair had still been bolted to the deck, Quint would not have slid into the mouth of the shark.
Exactly. They needed to get rid of that chair.
Even Peter Benchley was telling him, like, he's telling Spielberg, he's like, in the book, the shark just finally dies from its accumulated wounds. Like, a shark would not eat a tank and then chew on it. It would spit it out at the very least. And he said, nobody's going to buy this. And Spielberg turned to him and said, after the journey I have led the audience on, they will go with me on this. And we all did, because we wanted that big, exciting, cathartic moment. And that's what this gives us. It's like you said, it's not reality, but it's so spectacular. We're sucked right into it.
Yes. If you want reality, watch a damn documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't watch reality TV, because there's nothing real about reality TV.
And even then,
watch a documentary.
And even then, you don't know if you're getting any truth.
Right. Because even then, it still has a perspective.
The only unscripted piece of reality TV was the old show Cops. Everything else is scripted to some degree.
Yes. But even with a documentary has a point of view.
Yeah.
There are some that, like, there's one I really love called Do Not Resist, which is about the police and about the militarization of the police in America. And there's no commentary in that whatsoever.
Oh, so it's just raw footage?
It's raw footage.
Ooh, okay.
But it's it's amazing, and it's an incredibly important film, and I wish more people would see it.
I'm definitely going to check it out.
They're not. No, you should definitely. Because also it deals with, I think, a social problem that a lot of people in America have their heads in the ground about, should maybe give it a little a closer examination. But yeah, one of the things I also mention when it comes to the Leone movies is how he loves his close-ups, his extreme close-ups, and how he loves these interesting faces.
Yeah, faces with tons of character to them.
Right? And so the first shot of the movie is this gorgeous landscape. This is Almeria, of course, in Spain. There's a Facebook page, I love the bits, that is all about showing what these places look like today. Right? Really? So it's like Almeria 1966 from like Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This is what it looks like now. And they do that for countless movies. Yeah. And then, of course, I still, I've traveled quite a bit in Europe, but I still haven't been to England. But I've got Hammer Horror guide. So when I go to England, I'm going to be able to go and visit all the locations where they shot all my favorite.
Have you been to any of these? Have you been to any of these locations?
No, and I haven't been to Silent Hill. Oh man, that would be a vacation. Because a lot of my friends are like, "Oh man, after the shit you've been through, you should go on a vacation." Well, I'm just like, I don't know. But now I'm starting to think about it. I'm just like,
a lot of people are going on vacations right now. A lot of people.
Well, of course, there's a documentary about Sad Hill, which is where the climax of the film takes place, and where we get this incredible sequence to Morricone's absolutely unforgettable piece, The Ecstasy of Gold, where Tuco is, in the cemetery.
The graveyard.
Right. And that cemetery has been restored by volunteers and by, I think maybe there was a Kickstarter campaign.
Oh, that's cool.
And people came from all around the world to work on this place and restore it to what it looked like in the original movie. And awesome. To now keep it that way and preserve it. Because that might want to be, it's sacred ground.
Dude.
It's
they should build ground. Like a museum and like maybe like a hotel right next to it. You know what I mean? Make some money on it.
What a fantastic draw.
Right?
That is for like the tourist industry that they might have there, and it's so great because I remember like reading when they were doing. I can't remember if it was the prequels or the sequels, where they were going back to shoot some of the stuff, and they went back to what was it, Tehran, wherever they shot the original Star Wars Tatooine stuff, and they said like the locations had barely changed at all, so it was just perfect, all this great desert backdrop and everything that they'd used, like it hadn't been completely covered up with like industry and city and stuff.
That's crazy. I think like a ghost town would be perfect for this. You know, right adjacent to it. And you know they would love it out there. Like they film most of these in Spain, right, Brian?
Yep, in Almeria specifically.
You guys touch on the remake news for this trilogy?
A little bit.
Oh, are they remaking this?
They're not remaking this. They're remaking Fistful of Dollars so they can do the whole trilogy.
Yeah, I think that's horrible, personally.
Yeah, it's and I say that as a knee-jerk reflex, but I still have to say, damn, the remake of True Grit was pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, it was better than the original.
That's because it's an adaptation of the novel.
Yeah,
okay.
Right?
I didn't know that.
You can do numerous. You can do countless adaptations of novels. I don't give a fuck.
So the movie.
When you're remaking a movie that's already a remake of another movie,
you got to do it beyond justice. You got to make it better, right?
Which you're not going to fucking do. Because here's the thing: with Clint Eastwood, as we said at the beginning of the stream, he was like the 9th or 10th choice.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know that either. I saw that on the Twitter. I was like, yeah,
it's insane.
Dropping some knowledge.
Who was their top pick?
I think it was Henry Fonda. Fonda.
I could see him. I could see him.
James Coburn was down.
He'd be all right.
He was down until like they were like, yeah, you're too expensive for us, right? And then there were also Ty Hardin, I think, was in there.
Was Bronson in there?
Charles Bronson was definitely.
Bronson would be interesting. He would have been.
Bronson would have been cool.
Bronson would have been cool. Richard Harrison, who was.
I always loved Bronson, like Once Upon a Time in the West. Boy, him like.
Oh, of course.
Henry Fonda. That was terrific.
For me, Leone doesn't get any better than that. That's my favorite Leone. It's probably my favorite Western. Period. I think that movie is just incredible. Not that this one isn't, not that the other Leones aren't.
It's such a shame that audiences would not accept Henry Fonda as a bad guy after that film, because he is just top notch in that role.
It's hard.
He's incredible, but that was part of the mind fuck too. Was that when the camera swings around, and Henry Fonda even did an interview about this. How shocked the audiences were. The camera swings around. The guys just murdered this innocent family.
I know. It's Henry.
And the camera swings around, and it's Henry Fonda.
Did you read the new Savage Sword of Conan?
No, like I said, I can't get that. I don't get that. Shit. That's not available where I live.
So he's a werewolf in there, dude. It's so fucking awesome. And one of the stories.
Werewolves are part of Hyboria. They are up in that.
And it starts out, and this werewolf just comes in and just about to like rip apart this family. You know what I mean? But the family turns into wolves first, or I mean, after you don't know who the werewolf is. He just comes in on this family. You know, they're eating dinner, and then they're like, "Oh, we've heard of you, and we know it's our time." And then they start turning into the wolf, and then the werewolf just rips them apart. You know what I mean? Before they could fully transform, and then he stumbles out into the snow, and you find out it's like, I'm Conan, I'm Samaria, and I'm something else. And it's Carrie Nord that illustrated. It's all in black and white.
Carrie Nord is so good, man.
It was the shit.
Carrie Nord's the shit.
And at the end, dude, sorry to spoilers, he has the sword while he takes on a den of these wolves, and he fucking in mid transformation, he still got his sword. He's just like, oh, just like chopping them all up. I don't
know. I'll have to check that. I don't know if I can deal with. That's weird for me, Conan the Werewolf. If I was doing that, I think I'd make it my own IP, because that idea is so cool. I would love to do like a Viking berserker who actually took on the animal persona.
Right.
The Sumerians in Hyperborea is actually Irish, Celtic when you get down to it. Whereas like the Vikings were, he called them the Aesir in there. So it's always kind of neat seeing like Howard wanted to do like.
Well, the Sumerians are more like
not set it in our world at the same time.
Well, I mean that's because what he did was he just took, it's Hyboria is like the Earth before continental drift.
It's crazy how old it was, right? And then you go even further back, it's like pre-continental drift, right? Or it's like pre-flood because it's all the different kingdoms of Atlantis, and the oceans drink, Atlantis, and then it's still Pangea, and it's still not even
the rise of the suns.
It's still so fucking far out. I got that. I can't wait to dive into that.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good, dude. It's so good. This is actually, I was talking about this before. This is actually, I've read. There have been many comic book adaptations of this story, and this is by far the best.
No shit.
That I've read. That's not to say I don't have some issues with it. I think that homeboy Russ Leach, incredible artist.
Yeah, look at that.
Needs a little work on his swords. I think it's, mind you, I'm a sword geek, so.
Okay, let me.
You're like your boy Zach with his.
That might be my problem. That might be my problem.
You're like your boy Zach do with his gun, bro.
Right. Or Mike Barron. Mike Barron
cool,
is
though.
also
That's
a real
his,
stickler.
With the martial arts shit. No, that's cool, though.
That shirt's way too,
I gotta ask you this, okay?
That sword's too short right there?
As a sword geek, I gotta ask you this.
Awesome. Yes.
Okay, I love Frank Miller. I loved all of his ninja stuff, all that thing. But what would drive me crazy is he would draw the Japanese swords wrong. He was always drawing them wrong, and it drove me up the flipping wall.
Yeah.
Put the blade at a wrong angle or
also the
something?
side is not a three-pronged
the
dagger.
tip of the blade angles up at the end. He was always putting the angle backwards, like it was a Chinese Zhao instead of like a katana of some sort.
Yes.
It drove me
up
the
stylistic choice.
Yeah, it's probably just
that was a stylistic choice because remember, he was working from manga, Japanese comic books that weren't translated into English. But
they still drew the damn swords, right? I've got all
right. That's what I'm saying. I think it's a stylistic choice. I think it was a stylistic choice on him because also
a stylistic choice for him that I dug was the way he decided to make Wolverine's claws look like Tanto blades. I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool. Dope. I also like the John Byrne claws, where they look like they're shaped like
the long spikes.
Claws.
Yeah, it's crazy how everyone draws them a little different.
Yeah, every now and then, John would have them at an angle, and you could actually see where he would draw like a line to show.
Right.
Yeah, like animal claws.
It always brings me back to what Neil Adams said. He said, "Style is everything that an artist does wrong."
Right, 100%, man. No, I agree with that. And like for me, it's like I'm always looking for the cartoon in it. In the comic books drawing, I'm looking for. I don't want to see actuality. I want to see, I want to see the cartoon. I want to see the Calvin and Hobbes.
Right.
You must enjoy people like Humberto Ramos then. Like,
I just love comic art in general, and like or just cartoonists, from Will Eisner, like all the way up till now till Kyle Haas.
Let me ask you this:
Daniel Warren Johnson,
how do you feel about far more realistic artists, and this guy is probably the driving force behind that, whether he meant to be or not. But one of the reasons, like it takes so long to get like a lot of quality comics out, is it feels like a lot of people are following in the steps of Brian Hitch.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I never was. I don't think I ever will be. For me, it takes me out of it. It feels like I'm watching a movie, and that's not what I'm trying to do with a comic. I'm trying to read a comic book. If I want to watch a movie, or like we're talking about a documentary or the Spaghetti West. I'm going to watch a documentary.
I love Brian Hitch, but let Brian Hitch do Brian Hitch.
Yeah, everybody else should not be trying to do Brian Hitch.
No.
Which is like 3D models too. People just trace those now. Like you could, I could just get a badass 3D model. Like people do it all the time now, and they just trace the model and and then just put other things around it, and that's it.
I mean, if you're going to use a model as a reference, and I'll admit I've done that from time to time as well, but a model is not going to exaggerate. If you just trace it, but if you use it as a reference, because I used to use my action figures, like 30 miles are a lot easier now because I can flip them around. But you've got to put in the work yourself still. You've got to take that thing and exaggerate, because comics are all about exaggeration now. Unless you're Brian Hitch, who somehow makes the comic world look believable.
Right. Which
like,
is the strength.
Like he said, let Brian Hitch be Brian Hitch. Don't everybody else try to be Brian Hitch.
Right.
Shake it up a little bit. If you got a model, if you got one of those little posable models, pose them and then fucking shake them.
Yeah, because my typical art style is very much of the period that I grew up in, like the comics, like of the 80s, or where I really lived and breathed and died. So like my art style was from looking at people like John Romita Jr. and Sr.
Oh yeah,
John Byrne, John Buscema,
Oh
And then
yeah,
later on,
Yeah,
Mark
man.
Bagley became a big influence.
yeah. Bagley's the
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
And he was a constant professional artist that hit the deadline. That's what I liked about Bagley too. You know what I mean?
And
Like
a couple of more extreme guys would have been like Neil Adams,
me too.
Alan Davis, Tim Vigil, who did Faust.
Oh, I love Tim Vigil.
I love drawing like really muscular bodies and like
And
Me
Drake
too.
doesn't get enough love. Mike
Oh, yeah.
Blue really doesn't get enough
Shit.
love, but that's also because he left the industry to go to Hollywood.
Oh yeah, hard dude. Same another guy like that went hard into Hollywood was Stephen Platt. I saw an interview with him. He was doing all the like Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears and Fred, what was that guy? George Michael's music videos. Like he went full Hollywood quick. Like he just disappeared like in the 90s, you know? Like he blew up and then he was gone.
It's like, like Joe Mad. Joe Mad got out before everything crashed, and he's like, video games is where the money's at, so here I am.
That's how I got into him, was through Darksiders, like through the video games, because they were so cool, and like those, and still like his style is exaggerated. Like Ramos is inspired. You were talking by Mad, you know, the big bodies,
amazing,
little heads, big bodies. That's what I'm at right now.
That's kind of how I feel about Preston. I kind of feel like what's one of the reasons why I want to get as much work done with him as possible in the time that I have to get work done with him is because I feel at some point Hollywood's going to go yoink.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's what happens with a lot of guys. You know, and I was like watching an interview with Bisley. I know we're sidetracking real quick, but
he was saying, good. That's what we do here.
Maybe I should have went to Disney. I was off of Disney, and maybe I should have took that role, you know, and been an artist over there, you know. Fuck it, you know. And like a lot of artists that are in comics, they're like, fuck you, like they'll kill you, they'll break you. You know what I mean? It's like a good woman. She either makes you or she breaks you.
I'll put this out. I'll put this out here, Brian. Like if Preston ever gets yoinked up by Hollywood, I would love to draw a gorilla that fires 6 guns. Like that is like the coolest image ever. I like whenever I see.
I'm super lucky, man.
And I see those images, I'm like, this is like the most fun thing I've seen.
I've been super lucky. I've worked with so many great artists, so many really, really, really talented artists. It's insane. But yeah, I mean, the person that can like walk by a comic book rack or a shelf and walk past like one of those covers and not at least pick it up and like flip through it. I don't understand that cat. I don't understand that cat. You know what I mean? To me, you know, 6-gun gorilla, it sells itself.
That's one of the things I can't stand about like, and again, like I'm going to digress because that's what we do here.
Yeah, man.
I can't stand about so many modern comic book covers because they've become like the glamour shots of like the 90s movies posters. Like, look at this cool like kind of pinup thing that has nothing to do with what's going on the inside.
It's all models, dude. You know, there's no cartooning in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that there's no kinetic energy. There's no electricity.
No heart.
There's no fucking juice in it.
I mean,
like, no heart.
Like here's a guy whose work I really liked because it was so cool and gritty, but he just worked solely from posters or photos. Tim Bradstreet. Tim Bradstreet's
great,
sure. But
I was thinking of him when you're talking about Hitch right now too.
It's so static, man, because he's just all like he's got a guy and he's holding the gun and he's
in the shadow with the
that's why he's good for
light over him.
Always, that's why he's good for covers. But would you want to read a comic book like that?
No,
I don't. I get bored. Like there's a lot like him. You know,
Ross.
I know.
Even Alex Ross knows how to take these photos.
And
even though he's doing this super realism, he still knows how to exaggerate where it's needed to make things exciting.
Yes.
Well, like someone like him would be Sienkiewicz, where he takes the photographs and kind of tweaks it a little more, right?
Yeah.
So, like for me, if I'm going that route, I want to see like more of a Sienkiewicz type of look to it.
And
like
Sienkiewicz and like who did the Arkham Asylum, Dave McKeon. Those two guys are like two peas in the pod. Crazy and like perfect.
Distorted actuality.
Messy, ink all splashed all over the damn place. Yeah. And like the exact opposite of like Bill Sienkiewicz is I always thought of him as the anti George Perez.
Or you might enjoy this particular friend of mine. Oh my God! I just vegged on his name. What the fuck?
It'll come back to you.
Pretty cool artists out there. Like another one that they put me on was Horley, and he actually does the new Conan cover, the Savage Sword of Conan.
Ben Temple.
There's a big Templesmith's the shit. Yeah, I was thinking him too.
I used to chat with Templesmith for years online. Like we would just back when he was still in Australia.
Yeah.
Before he blew up, and like we would talk art and stuff, and we were both on the Steve Niles forums.
He's incredible.
Got to be good friends with him, and I got to meet him in person finally. 2018 at a con, and that was super cool. But there's a guy whose art style, you go like, this guy would never work in like, you know, mainstream comics, and like look at how he took off, man.
But
he's a smart businessman too.
Mm-hmm.
He makes amazing comics, smart businessman. He has exclusive comics that are to his
and his
Patreon.
Style is so wonderfully distinctive. Like nobody else looks like him.
You're not going to mistake him for anybody else.
And he started dropping some Lobo covers and like some special edition Lobo covers last week.
Nice.
I was like, dude, he's fucking perfect for Lobo.
Because I would see him work. I had to ask him, you know, I'd see him work on some weird stuff. I was like, so dude, how did somebody tap you for Star Wars? Like, because he did a Star Wars thing. He's like, have they seen your work before? I love his stuff, but he's the last guy I'd pick for Star Wars.
Well, it's like I want to see Temple Smith's spin on this. You know, that's the way you go, right? Like certain artists, we talk about that all the time, right, Brian? Like I hired this artist because I want him to do his style. That's why I hired this guy. You know?
Yes. You hire the person exactly. Don't like hire the person that has a particular style and then tell them not to do that
Absolutely.
style and hire somebody else.
Just do Temple Smith. Yeah, like
exactly. But also
that was one of the nice things.
You know,
like when Marvel finally loosened up in the 90s and they stopped enforcing the house style, and they kind of like let artists kind of grow into their own thing. Like if you look at early Jay Lee. And then what he would become in the 90s.
And now, have you seen him now?
Two completely different things.
Now it's like silhouette gothic style. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But I liked him in the beginning. Like, I mean, now he's like his own thing. Like he's still like does his own thing. Like that silhouette or the profile gothic. Everything's profile gothic. He's starting to do more.
He actually took offense when I told him like, oh yeah, I love seeing your transition from like the Marvel House. I was never doing the Marvel House. I was like, well, maybe your anchor was. He didn't like that comment.
Oh snap!
His old stuff, his first stuff for Marvel looked Marvel House style, but like
the stuff I liked was more like Sam Keith, like very Sam Keithian. That was the shit that I liked. That was probably after that.
Because like when he got to do the Inhumans and he really got to explore his own style, and then
it was great.
The pinnacle of that is when he started doing the Gunslinger series based on the Stephen King stuff.
Oh, I remember some of those covers.
That's
good shit. Yeah, those are both fantastic work, and that Inhumans limited series was just
which kind of brings us back to this, because the Gunslinger was made to look like our boy Clint Eastwood over here.
And they're working on a TV show. The guy that does The Haunting of Hill House is actually working on that right now as we speak for Amazon.
Wait, he's doing
what's he working on? Oh, that's right. Yes.
Wait, what are they working?
Perfect.
What are they working on?
The Gunslinger.
Oh, thank God, because that movie sucked balls. It was
such a letdown.
Yeah,
it was so disappointing.
Yeah,
I love the actors in it. You know, I love Idris Elba, and I love Mr. All Right. But like, boy, they were terribly miscast for that.
I was gonna say, but they're kind of miscast in there, I think.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I didn't even read the books; I just wasn't feeling it. You know what I mean? And that was always something.
No, because like they even said later in interviews, they decided like for those of you who don't know, spoilers, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At the end of the Gunslinger, you find out Roland repeats his mission until he gets it right. He's stuck on the karmic wheel.
Oh yeah,
this was supposed to be like another reality iteration of that.
Yeah.
But it just
it didn't work.
Yeah. No, it was shit. It was shit. And Mike Flanagan is the perfect guy right now. He's the Stephen King dude.
We waited way too long for the last book of the Dark Tower, and it sucked balls.
The last book sucked balls, and then the movie.
I don't think it sucked balls, but it did feel a little anticlimactic. And I did see.
It felt like he rushed it because the fans were giving him shit.
Well, Stephen King started getting back on those books because after he got hit by that van and almost died, he was like, I don't want to be like some authors who die before I finish my magnum.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. At least he finished it, I guess, right?
If you look,
it still felt rushed. It felt badly rushed. Like he just threw something together.
If you want a little bit more Gunslinger that feels like the Gunslinger, because I was a little disappointed in the ending because sometimes I kind of like the the cycle of karma going on there, but I thought the way the villain was defeated was like a little too simplistic, a little too easy. But he did
For seventh book, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, like the guy gets erased
my hours
from
back.
existence with like a pencil eraser. That was kind of weird and metaphysical.
Yeah,
but the check out a story he did that's still in the Dark Tower world, the Gunslinger world, called The Wind in the Keyhole. I think that'll satisfy you the way the earlier books in the series did.
Dude, I've been reading the Savage Tales of Solomon Kane right now. I just read the third one, the Red Skies. Oh my God, so good.
I'm just saying, the Dark Tower, the way he ended that shit was lame as hell. After reading 6 thick ass books, I want a 7th badass thick book, right? And I didn't get it.
Well, you got to stick the landing. Right? And that's one of the things. Like for instance, it's like first of all, like advice to anybody out there that's thinking of writing a comic book. Don't start out with like a big 10-issue saga.
Right.
Do a one-shot.
Do a bunch of one-shots.
4 or 5 issues. Right? Don't do fucking 10 issues. Right.
Do a bunch of one-shots maybe if you're.
But I mean, sure.
You can't take Randall Flagg from the stand. Sure.
That the last 2 issues stick the damn fucking landing that they deliver.
Hey Brian, like
the reader is going satisfied.
Like when you're writing a story, I agree. Like you got to come up with your ending first, right? But damn, that ending's got to fucking slay, right?
Yeah.
The ending has to be the big cheese, the big banana, the
beginning and the ending. They both got to slay, right? The intro, and the middle, but the ending and the beginning. Oh,
right. Because and here's the thing: you can start out.
You just got to drive your motorcycle into oncoming traffic. Boom!
I understand Pop's desire because I get it, because like all this has been building up. Like he's the hero. He's of the line of Eld. He's basically this own like alternate reality line coming down from King Arthur. And who slays the dragon? Not him, but an artist who's had his tongue ripped out. And he basically draws the guy and then erases the guy. And that's how you defeat the bad guy. That's
very Mignola in. That's what Hellboy is. He's like a descendant of Arthur.
Yeah.
And they put that in the reboot of the first movie where they reboot. They put
real quick, total non sequitur. I found out what the deal is with the new Hellboy.
What's that?
The deal with the new Hellboy is that it's like the Roger Corman Fantastic Four.
Whoa!
It's a movie that's a lot that they made.
That makes a lot more sense.
That's a rumor.
To make a movie.
That's a rumor going around.
Just to hang on to the rights.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a rumor. That's a rumor going around. No, that's a breadtuber rumor. No, that's a breadtuber rumor. That's what everyone's breadtuber.
And I think that there's validity. I think there's great validity to that rumor. It's what
I mean. The movie might suck, right? I'm in the fucking 5%, right? But that's a breadtuber rumor.
Trigger hard figure.
That's a breadtuber
almost
rumor.
Certainly.
Build a bull. I mean, I'm sorry, but like he doesn't look anything like Hellboy. I'm sorry, Art. You might be watching, but he don't look nothing like Hellboy.
No, it's not that. It's the story. It's the story.
What story? There's like a bunch
of
them.
He gave the script to Del Toro.
To Del Toro? But Del Toro's was based off of the Seeds of Destruction.
And then it's shot on like shit.
Has he got frogs in there and a BPRD?
Trigger heart because he has a story.
And all that shit in there. He's got Rasputin and the frogs and the BPRD and all that shit going on in there.
Yeah, but there's so many Hellboy stories that you could do that don't have anything to do with those initial core concepts. I mean,
and then the Crooked Man. That's a low budget movie. So they're like, let's reboot it with a low budget movie, and he's like 15 years old in that movie. He's just born. So that's
great idea. Great idea.
We'll see. The movie might suck.
Then I went to the trailer. Ah shit.
But I mean,
the old Loki doke.
I know. But we'll see. It might be good.
Time will tell. To
me, it looks like a cool, cool movie. But we'll see.
Here's the thing you have to understand about Matt, Jeff. Let me explain to you in a very patronizing. Matt is a sweet summer child. Sweet summer child. He holds out hope. That things are still going to be good. Even when they look like shit, he's just like, I'm still. I'll give it a chance. I'll reserve my judgment.
This one's got Mignola attached to it, right?
The
last one was The Wizard of Oz. Golden Army was The Wizard of Oz. And then the first one was okay.
Golden Army.
None of them were scary. None of them were
X-Men than it is Hellboy.
Terrifying, like the books.
My opinion based on because
make Hellboy horror again. Yeah,
it was never horrific in the movies.
Yeah, if you're showing me a trailer, this is what I have to go on, and I will base my opinion on that. So you've got to sell me with your trailer. First impressions matter. However, I'm still willing to see the thing because of the times I've been very wrong. Like I thought Michael Keaton as Batman is going to be terrible. Tom Cruise as the Vampire Lestat is going to be terrible, and I was wrong in both cases.
Right.
So I'm willing to give things more of a chance than I used to be.
I think it's either going to be like the shit and kind of scary, or it's just going to suck. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be.
I'm hoping it's going to be really scary.
I'm really excited for Long Legs.
Well, look, we won't have to pay to see it. We won't have to pay to see it. It's going to be on Tubi. It's a Tubi movie. Yeah. So that's
probably
a good
probably because it got so much hate. Every fucking YouTuber too has got the same fucking thumbnail for it where he's like looking up and shit.
Rightfully so. Understandably, because it looks like a bad fucking cosplay. And here's the thing too. You can have a makeup that doesn't look that good, but if you light it correctly, if you film instead of video, you can maybe get away with it. But that
I will
It
defend that.
It looked like a fan film. It looks like a fan.
I will defend that.
I think it looks pretty cool.
Maybe I'll be surprised.
And I saw the first shots of Rawhead Rex, which were like shots on set. I thought like this movie's going to be terrible, and it's still not a great movie. But when I saw Rawhead Rex, in action on film, I was like, you know what, this monster's pretty cool. I like it. It looks better in motion than it did in a still.
Yeah, when he's running around like basically the Juggernaut from the X-Men comic books, and he's just like running the trailer park, and trailers are just exploding and shit. It's like, all right, that's okay. Yeah, I can deal with this. Maybe this just comes from being an artist and having been, an amateur filmmaker myself for a time. That's tough, man.
Like when you looked at the David Harbour Hellboy, they did a whole new makeup. They're doing a whole new thing. Let's do a whole let's do something unique with Harbour. And I'm kind of disappointed they took this Hellboy makeup and they made it look very much like the Ron Perlman makeup instead of trying to do something their own with it.
Well, they didn't do anything with the actor's face. It's just the actor's face.
Yeah, the nose is the same. There's no yellow contact lenses. I think it's like Perlman's, but even more stripped down. And his physique is even more stripped down, like Mignola's art style now. And Hellboy's in his broad shoulders. He's got the slouch shoulders. This guy's got the slouch shoulders. I do like that. When the story came out, though, he looked more bigger. Like in Corbin's illustration of Crooked Man, he's bigger. Like Perlman.
Oh, I love Mignola draws.
I would have built out the neck down into the shoulders to give you
that. It should look physically intimidating. That's the one thing they can never give him, though. The one thing that they can never get right: the chicken legs.
Yeah, the same thing with this one. They never want to do that.
One of my favorite things about Hellboy is little chicken legs.
Well, I think
when you look at Hellboy, he's really built like a gorilla that walks like a man.
Yep, he's a gorilla
with digigrade legs.
He is a gorilla,
and he's asymmetrical. He's all about being asymmetrical.
Yeah,
I got the art of Hellboy, and it has the picture of him.
Right-handed god of the devil. Right-handed Doom.
I wish they would do that, but they never did. And he doesn't draw him like that anymore. He draws him like he drew him weak. I mean, before he died. That's And this is
he looks like Lit Hellboy now.
Like what?
Yeah, I remember like he did
Lit Hellboy.
Lit Hellboy.
Little boy. Lit Hellboy.
That's how he looks now. He looks fucking weak as fuck. Like if you look at the way he draws Hellboy now, he looks weak as fuck. Look at his shoulders. He's not power. There's no shoulder bones. They're not like no muscle. He's
always had like a really interesting stylized choice. But like when you look at like the Sea of Destruction, where like he's
huge in Sea of Destruction.
And I remember like
that's my favorite.
He posted up a picture on Twitter where it was like Hellboy promoting voting for Joe Biden. And his silhouette just kind of arrowed down like an ice cream cone. I was like,
and that's how Kessie looks in the new one. He looks like that. Even though in Crooked Man he doesn't look like that. Corbin drew him bigger too.
I know what it is, guys. I know what it is. he's not smoking a cigar anymore. He's smoking a crack pipe.
Well, I don't know. Someone said it's because he's got the world on his shoulders. He's got the world on his shoulders. That's why.
Can't he be like Wolverine and just smoke a drink and not pay any consequences?
No, he just shrivel it up.
Matt, if you work that into the story, that would actually be kind of a cool way to explain the.
He's got the world on his shoulders. That's what they always said. But even Mignola just simplified his style more and more.
Yeah.
For me, it was peak like when he started Hellboy, the first fucking issue.
Well,
I love that. That was my favorite.
I mean, how old is Mike now? Like,
yeah, me too.
50 something.
Yeah, I mean, because like I've seen that in all my favorite artists. I've watched John Byrne's style get a little less detailed. The same thing with John Romita Jr.
Now it's super simplified.
Look at what he's doing for like Amazing Spider-Man. I was like, not what you used to be.
It was always simplified, you know.
Now.
Romita Jr. is always an interesting case for me because he's one of the artists that like I have like an opinion of, and then I remember hearing an interview with him, and he was assessing his own talent. And it was exactly what I was thinking, which is that he's somebody who doesn't have a lot of natural talent. He doesn't have.
No, he's admitted he's not as good as his dad,
and he grows.
Yeah. So what he did is he went that Jack Kirby kind of vein. He said, "I'm going to do big, blocky figures in a bold cinematic style."
Yes.
Because he's like, I'm not the same level of artist that my dad is.
Exactly.
And so
you look at like World War Hulk, and those characters, they stomp across the page. Boom, 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 boom.
I like some of his stuff a lot.
Oh, yeah, I'm a very big fan. I'm a very big fan.
Mostly it's artists that like him, you know? That's funny.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
You work on your weaknesses, but you understand your strengths and you play into those.
Yes. And maybe it's those weaknesses also that maybe give your work a little bit of character.
Yeah.
Too.
100%.
And that's one of the things I've always admired about him. Like, I
love his
fact that he's also dedicated towards getting better, and that he's never stopped.
And there's the thing. There's another guy who's become a legend because, he puts out. And his style is so distinctive. Like you see JR, you're looking at JR.
He says my month is deadline style, or my style is deadline style. If you see the interview, that's my style, the deadline. So.
Oh, look at these beautiful shots.
I love it.
I know. I was talking before.
I love this. I love this scene so much where Tuco is going through all the guns and like putting stuff together.
Well, he puts together like his own gun, right? He's basically going through and grabbing. This is after Blondie has like left him in the desert, and given him a nice 20-mile walk.
It's such a cool character moment because like when you first meet Tuco, you think he's just kind of like a generic dumb thug, but like you watch him put together this gun, you're like, this guy knows his shit.
He's a stone killer.
Mm-hmm.
He's a stone killer. He's just as much of a badass as the man with no name is.
Mm-hmm.
At least certainly when it comes to being heavy on the trigger, right? He's not a fucking slouch. He's very far from being a slouch. He's just a scumbag.
That's one of the great things about the showdown at the end. These guys are, in their own way, individually, they're all equals. And so they get that equal screen shot, like the way we go between them all. And you literally don't know by the end who's going to be standing.
Right. Except, of course, then it turns out that the whole thing was rigged.
Yeah.
Right? The whole thing was rigged. It looked like it was a three-way shoot, like a three-way Mexican standoff. It wasn't. It wasn't.
And that's so brilliant because that bookends the beginning of the film where you find out these guys were a couple of con artists, and so he's out-conned his con artist buddy. And I love how it bookends with like the hanging and being shot out again. Yeah, it all plays into that.
Hey man,
what up to all the 50 people watching on Twitter and the one person on YouTube? Thanks for watching.
Nice.
Yeah, what up, people? Thank you so much. One of the things I do want to talk about that's really important here is one of the reasons I'm not running video clips is because I haven't been able to download any. They're all like privatized and all and all that stuff.
All that jazz.
Well, that's also YouTube these days too.
Yes, it is.
Careful,
yes,
man,
it is. And I'm shocked that we even still have channels.
As soon as you get monetized, you got to be real careful. Like on my channel, I'm playing whole music videos. I don't give a fuck. It's Headbangers Ball,
Right.
Once you get monetized, you got to chop that shit up, Is what
Well,
it
it's
is.
like one of my favorite movie reviewers, this guy named Brandon, who likes to satirize like B movies and
Yeah.
Oh,
forms
yeah,
of-
yeah.
The cult movie
And,
guy.
yeah,
Guy's
and
doing a
doing this. He'd been doing this for
That's great.
ages, and so like he was one of the bigger movie reviewer guys,
Rightfully
and
so.
he had to rebuild his channel from scratch because YouTube just deleted his shit.
Did they really?
No, yeah. Like whenever you do
A few years back, they deleted everything, and he had to start over.
Like whenever you put up a video, you have to rate it. Is this for children? You have to go in there. No, it's not for children. Like go back, all your live streams, everything has to be not for children. Your shit will get yanked.
Back your shit up with Odyssey.
Back it up and rate it for not for children.
And I'll just also say this:
back your shit with Odyssey. Back up your shit with Rumble. Because they're coming for our shit.
This is also why we need to support the madness. Getting the Roku channel
for sure,
where this bullshit doesn't happen. Your stuff will never be yoinked like it is on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, and after Satan's
it will eventually, but it'll take more
press
time.
Conference tonight. Oh my God, you guys missed out on that. I don't know if you guys saw that.
That's just it, though. Roku isn't run by Google. Roku's its own TV entity.
Yeah, it's its own thing.
Right. But here's the thing. Ultimately, what we're doing is we're going to be playing a game of whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
And they will follow us wherever
that's
go.
What's happening on the internet.
Like the idea of media that they can't control.
That's what's happening on the internet. But it's not, like I said, Roku makes their own TVs, bro.
Right. Oh no, they'll get I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for it, but it's going to bias a couple of years.
So far, like this whole ideology, this whole control-based thing, this whole woke, whatever the hell you want to call it, it has squirmed its way into places I never would have imagined it is to like try and censor every damn thing. I'll tell you what's so annoying. I'm watching videos, and I'm watching videos where we all have to censor our language like we're talking to 3-year-olds.
Well, it's not only that too. There's a big thing too that we always forget, right? Is that if you do fill out a job application, you want to go to you're going into the interview process. Some companies they follow your fucking social media, everything. They want to see every little thing that you do. They follow your YouTube, your Twitter, your Instagram, and then you're fucked.
Yeah, give us your Facebook password.
I don't really give a fuck anymore, but I used to a lot. But that's something to be careful of.
I will absolutely.
I used to give a fuck about anything.
I will never get to be a character artist for Disney.
Not only Disney, like say you want to go work at like a big grocery store chain. Say you know what I mean, like someone they're paying you like $30 an hour, just some bullshit job. They'll fucking look at your shit.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
So
they feel
you got to be ready to work in the dirt and hustle and make that money and still do your YouTube and your comic booking and not give a fuck. Cease to give a fuck. Like me, I don't give a fuck.
Yes,
because I know I'll come back and I'm good to go.
That's where I'm at.
Cancel me.
But, that's the thing. If
nothing.
If all of us, including the companies, all just start giving a fuck,
exactly,
all just get on with their shit again.
I've been not giving a fuck for most of my life.
He said, "I don't give a fuck." Because of that.
Yes, if you have the balls to do this,
fuck you,
and just not fucking kowtow and just give in to these fucking fascists, these authoritarian motherfuckers, man. Then it's terrible too because I'm a fucking leftist, man. I'm a leftist. I'm what people would now call a classical liberal, and not a single one of my goddamn liberal friends believes in the First Amendment anymore.
Wow.
Not even a little. Not even a little. I'm a First Amendment absolutist.
We had
now.
this,
and they call me that as an insult.
It'd have to be visited upon them before they would.
The ACLU does not believe in doesn't believe in the First Amendment anymore.
Right. We had this conversation on Doc's show the other day, and it's like, I am a First Amendment, Second Amendment absolutist, because without 2A, you got no 1A.
Yes,
okay.
Thank you.
Absolutist.
I
was a weed advocate, legalized weed advocate, free speech, stick it to the man, youngster, man, in my 20s. That was me.
Everybody was.
Liberal.
Everybody is.
I was a liberal.
I didn't move.
Everybody's liberal in their 20s.
I'm that same guy, but I'm far right.
I mean, think
because
about
I believe in the same
They move.
Look at this beautiful piece of cinema we're looking at right now. this classic, this legend amongst westerns and foreign films and American films in general.
Movie.
Could this be made today as it was back then?
Nope.
Hell no, they wouldn't let it be made like this.
Well, first of all, to me, that question is almost irrelevant because you're talking about different time, different place.
I know, but like
cultures and all that stuff.
Still,
but here's the thing: you've got an actor here, a white actor, a Caucasian actor, in brown face.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yet, could you imagine? And I've mentioned this 100 times on the Spaghetti Western Jamboree, right? That famously, you've got Mexican characters all up in the Spaghetti Westerns, and there's only one actual Mexican actor
one dude
ever appeared in Spaghetti Westerns. And that's Gilbert Roland.
It's hard to find Mexican.
He appeared in Any Gun Can Play.
Gilbert Roland.
And
I'm the only Mexican in this film.
Yeah, and he's the shit, by the way.
It was hard to find Mexicans in Italy.
Spain, right? So you had a combination of mostly Spanish actors, but also because once again, those faces, right? And Leone's love for those faces. One of the more memorable scenes is where Tuco's being tortured, and you've got these Confederate soldiers, and they're forced to play this song, which is absolutely beautiful by Morricone, right? And to me, it's just like, I keep saying Leone. Really, when you're talking about these movies, you're talking about Leone Morricone. Collaborations in the truest sense.
The visuals and the
a lot of people don't understand
that.
Well,
because
the
soundscape he created was like nothing else anybody ever did.
Right, but also most significantly, the way that film composition works, right? They make the movie, they show it to the composer sits down, makes the score for the movie. They work the opposite fucking way.
Yeah, they retrofit.
Leone had such respect for Morricone, right? Because this wasn't the case with Fistful of Dollars, I don't think, because that was also slapdash, low budget, B movie thrown together very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Just, they caught lightning in a bottle. It just, the stars were in the proper alignment. The cinema gods looked down and smiled.
I just think they were simpatico. Not only that he fucking trusted him, because that's a lot of fucking trust, dude. And if it wasn't a deadline, that's a lot of trust. I think it was just simpatico. Like he knew he had to have given Morricone the script to be able to.
No. He gets the script.
The length of the music. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Okay, this is long enough. I know Sergio's gonna be able to.
Maybe he said
with this much music. That's a lot of music.
I'd like this scene to play out. Like, give me a range of music for like this many minutes, and I'll do something with it.
Right, exactly. And then what they would do while they were shooting, and this is really, really important, they would play music. If you watch some of the set footage of, say, The Crow, for instance, I'm talking about the original, of course, and you hear that the music they're playing on the set to help establish the mood is The Last Temptation of Christ score. By Peter Gabriel, right?
Oh, wow.
And when you hear Graham Revell's score, there are strong echoes of that score.
Okay.
Understandably, it's one of the greatest film scores of all time.
Yeah.
Right? By the way, also, fellas, really good love making music. I'm just saying, I'm not
amazing what you can do with music, dude.
But,
like to get your people motivated, you know what I mean? Like to get them
to
get them to go there.
Everybody's on that same vibe, right?
Yeah.
So when they were shooting this movie, they were playing the Morricone music.
It's so perfect for this because a lot of outdoor scenes, when you're shooting outdoor scenes, you're not going to use nat sound anyway. You're going to go back and you're going to do your Foley and your ADR and all that.
Right. Yep.
And so playing the music is a perfect way to get everybody into the zone for it.
Right. And they were shooting without sound. They shot. And the thing is, it's like they shot without sound for a practical reason. That's because they're going to be dubbing it anyway. And because that way the actors could all speak in their own languages. But it definitely had an effect on the filmmaking process because these were shot as silent films.
Isn't that crazy? Like, as a director, you have to forecast all that.
Affects the movie.
Like, as a director, I'm just saying, isn't it crazy how as a director you have to forecast all that? You have to plan all that. And sometimes you have to plan it like within a minute of hours. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
like, you surround yourself with awesome people.
Well, even that. And then you have actors that you need them to go there. You need to do certain things to them.
Yes.
You know, like Fred Grant has to smack the fucking actor to get him into the scene. You know, well, this isn't going to work with that person, or I have to talk to someone this way, or you know what I mean? To get the performance that you need out of them, you have to think of all that stuff, and you have constraints. And
you know, it's kind of fun. Like I don't remember which director this was, but like, you know, John Wayne was a notorious, you know, drinker. He liked to go out and have his drinks in his off time.
He was an alcoholic, is what you're trying to say.
Just to not be polite about it, he's an alcoholic, and he was supposed to have a brawl with another actor who was also a known alcoholic. And the director told him, like, okay, guys, you know, we're done for the day. He knew they were going to go straight for the bar. And then knowing that they were still hungover, he yanked them onto the set to shoot a scene where they have a drunken brawl because he wanted
that's
to
what I mean.
The realism of them
exactly.
being
drunk. There it is.
And you have to think about that. Like, if you come to drink to get the performance, do I rob him of the drink? You know what I mean? Do I give him water? Do I give him breakfast?
They're just
do I not give him breakfast?
About drinking, and they're not going to be focused on the performance.
Do I talk shit to him? Do I not talk shit to him? Do I pamper him? Like, there's all that shit you got to think about.
I'm willing to bet you're a fan of this movie, Brian. A great look into a director who is very purposeful in doing these sorts of things is the movie The Stuntman.
Oh, of course, yes.
That's that new one, right?
Speaking of raging alcoholic.
No, not the new one. I'm talking about the one from '79 with
Pierrot O'Toole.
Okay. Okay. To check that shit out.
Yeah. And Steve Rail's back.
Awesome.
You know, I know what you're talking about, brother. What do you think you're talking to here? I know my shit. When you say the stuntman, I know what the stuntman is.
Yeah, because the character in that film who becomes the stuntman is our POV, and he's introduced to all the glitz, glamour, magic, and the internal politics and obsession of people who work in Hollywood, including a director who's so demanding he's willing to let people die on the set if he can get his damn shot. And he's a manipulative bastard.
Yes.
Horrible.
Yes. Which to me, it's like, so we've had discussions before on the stream about fire stunts, right?
Bless you.
And bless you, sir. About fire stunts, right? And whenever I see a fire stunt, especially if it's a really amazing one like you see in like Maniac Cop 2, right? Where it's an extended, like, that looks so cool. I remember seeing that on a big screen at the Alamo Draft House and being like, oh, this is fucking awesome. As opposed to, like, that horrible CGI fire that you see in, like,
I can't stand the CGI fire.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It takes you right out of the movie, right?
CGI blood squib.
Right. Well, but then I'm thinking, like, if I'm directing a movie, it's just like, well, I want the real fire stunt, but am I willing to set another human being on fire?
Yeah.
And the answer is no. And the answer is no. And I might just be like, because if somebody burnt up over my stupid fucking movie, I would never forgive myself. Because ultimately, it's still just a fucking movie.
Brian, are you going to go watch Long Legs?
If I got a guy who's a real pro and he really knows how to do this and he knows
how to be safe, right?
How not to get hurt, I'm willing to go there.
But it's still you're still setting. But here's the thing: you're still setting a motherfucker on fire.
You'll set a motherfucker on fire, but you've also had people jump off a 26-story building.
I know, and they're the biggest maniacs.
It's different
I
times
know,
back then.
and they're the biggest fucking maniacs. My favorite story was the one that fucking John Milius told about Dillinger. Right now, the making of Conan the Barbarian. There's a Titans coming out with a book about that. The making of that movie is legendary and notorious for how fucking crazy and dangerous it was.
Well, I know Sandra got her hand split open.
Yes. Yes. And then Milius starts screaming at her saying, "You're crying. You're a Valkyrie. Valkyries don't cry." Right? notorious, right? So anyway,
because when
he's
they
doing
when they
Dillinger.
did Conan the Destroyer, they didn't use blunt metal swords. They made all the swords out of fiberglass, so they're far less dangerous to get whacked with if you made a mistake.
Right, makes sense, right? But Milius is a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
So, but he did Dillinger with Warren Oates, and there's a scene in that where a character is at the top of the staircase, and they get fucking blasted both barrels with a fucking shotgun and go rolling down the stairs. And he said he had a stuntman that begged him, please let me throw myself down this flight of stairs.
What a guy! What a guy!
And that was his response was, they're just maniacs. They're just fucking lunatics.
It's funny you say that. One more quick aside here.
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds was doing one of his movies, where he's a cop and there's a maniac on the loose, and the bad guy at the end kind of gets the Hans Gruber treatment. He's hanging off a skyscraper, and he's going to fall. And the stunt
you're talking about,
the stunt guy says, like, I think I'd try to shoot him on the way down. And the director's like, dude, just fall safe. I don't give a shit about that.
They're not about that, though.
He fires off like 5 shots.
Yeah, it looks amazing. It looks amazing because he's trying to take him with him, right?
Yeah, but
and that's the thing. They're about that moment of glory.
He's an actual caring human being. He's like, dude, just land in the bag so you don't
die. Right. But you have to understand what's in these people's heads. They're not stupid.
They're not like us.
They're not like us, but they're not like us. And they're about that moment of glory.
They're addicted to that adrenaline.
Yeah. Well, that too.
Junkies, you bet.
But they want to look awesome.
Oh yeah, and they're artists too at the same time.
Off this building just for fun. I want it to look good. I want it to be badass.
Right, but I'm the director. Motherfucker, don't die.
I mean, that's such commitment as a performer that you're not just willing to risk your life as you normally would. I want to risk my life just a little bit more to make the shot
the
most
shot.
epic shot in the film.
Have you guys seen the Long Legs trailer? Are you guys going to watch the movie?
I haven't.
Sorry to interrupt.
I've heard the early reviews, which sound euphoric.
Because I was gonna go watch it like maybe tonight or tomorrow, and they're not showing his face. They're not even giving him audio of him. So I'm just like, fuck. And he looks scary. So I'm like, damn. And he always delivers. He always delivers. So.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, the dude's a fucking legend and a fucking icon.
And I'm thinking. Silence of the Lambs, that's what they're saying. It's the best
one.
Okay.
We'll see. Real quick, over the past week, I saw Maxine, which is the third installment in that Taiwan.
Oh, that's right, in the X series.
That's playing in movie theaters, dude.
Yeah.
That's playing in movies. I saw that at the multiplex,
Crazy.
which is great because I know now I'm going to be able this October. I'm going to be able to see fucking Terrifier 3 at that motherfucker.
Dude, there's a lot of low key fucking movies coming out this year. I'm thinking there's no movies coming out. There's a fuck ton of movies coming out.
Good look surprised.
Yeah, there's like Terrifier. There's Beetlejuice. There's The Crow. There's Nosferatu. There's Hellboy. There's Deadpool and Wolverine. That's already 6 movies. Like I'm down to watch in the theater for fun for $5. The Crow's
Hellboy's not going to be playing in theaters. It's going to be on Tubi.
Two of those star the
probably
Skarsgård kid.
Yeah, 2 of them are. You're probably right about Hellboy too. Like my whole thing is they never showed anything about the movie. Nothing. No fucking interviews. No nothing. And I kind of agree with you on that. This was just to test the waters to see what people would do. That's and they're not giving a release date either.
I don't think it's that. It's actually a legal thing.
Right.
That's the theory
that's
that's out there, and it's a theory that I favor.
I know. It comes from what's his name, Midnight Edge, or whatever the fuck that dude's name is.
Yeah,
right? Is that they have to make a movie, any movie.
I don't think so.
That Skarsgård family is a talent pool.
Oh yeah, all 4 of them. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god! Do you guys see Boy Kills World?
I want to, man. That movie looks dope.
It's not.
When you go from the
it's a waste of talent
to the younger brother to the younger brother, those guys just all kill it.
But here's the thing.
What about the action? What about the action?
In the same year, Bill Skarsgård and Dev Patel have established. They basically both said, "I'm a go action hero," and they both pulled it off. Like Dev Patel in Monkey Man, he's like,
Yes.
I'm gonna be the new Keanu Reeves. And
Yeah,
I watched it, and I'm like, okay, well, I wish there wasn't
New
so much
Keanu Reeves,
shaky
man.
cam,
Like I was
but he
thinking,
pulled
he's
it
more
off.
like.
Oh, he did.
I'm thinking he's more like the next Tony Jaa.
Well, what about
No, nobody's the next Tony Jaa. Tony
I don't
Jaa
think
will
so, yeah.
genuinely fuck a motherfucker.
Yeah, Protector 2. But dude, what about the Boy Meets World movie or Boy versus World? How was the action in that movie? How was the action in that movie? That's what I'm talking.
Very good.
Okay, that's all I care about. I don't give a fuck. And I like the whole voiceover thing where it's in like, I'm gonna fuck these people up because I'm a video game boy. I think that's cool.
I just felt that it was considering the talent pool that you had, it felt disappointing. Is it worth watching? That depends on the person. Like I was talking about
for me, it's like if
depends on who you're recommending it to. Would I recommend Boy Kills World to you? Hell yeah.
You know me.
Yeah. You'll have fun with it at the very least.
If you played those side-scroller video games like Double Dragon and Fatal Fury, you are going to love
you'll like
that movie.
Which one? Which movie?
Boy Kills
World.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking love it.
Yeah.
That's my like demographic. That's like the time I was born.
It's everything that
I'm 41,
Double Dragon movie should have been.
Oh fuck yeah! I can't.
That's actually a really good. That's actually a really good way of describing it. Actually, shit, I didn't think about that. Yeah, man. Yeah, if you just had like another Bill Skarsgård in there.
Right. You like that, huh?
Not a comparison I thought I would see.
Right.
Is it worth watching? Yeah.
Another one I wanted to watch was The Green Knight. I heard it was dog shit, but I never got around to it. From a respected source, too. From a respected source.
It's A24, and they rarely miss the ball. It
was a respected source too. I was like, he did a whole review video. He was like, "Fuck this movie, it's dog shit." I was like, "Okay."
No,
but other people are very passionately into it. I haven't seen it, so I will tell you.
I enjoyed the film, and it's not. I think the problem is sometimes you get marketed a film, and you're thinking like King Arthur, this kind of thing. You have an expectation, but if you go in without any expectation, if you go in not tied to the Arthurian legend or anything you think about King Arthur, I think you will find a very thoughtful film if you watch The Green Knight with an open mind.
I studied the original myth, the original story or poem actually, at a university, and I've seen there are two film versions before that, and they're both by the same director. Interestingly enough,
hilarious.
Yeah, are you talking about the one with Sean
Sword of the Valiant, and then the one before that's just called The Green Knight.
Yeah, that was the one with Sean Connery as the knight.
I'm the Green Knight. Yeah.
Yes, and I don't know what they were thinking, man. I don't know what they were fucking thinking because they got Sean Connery as the fucking Green Knight, right? Now the Green Knight, very formidable fucking character. You want a formidable actor. The formidable voice, right? Because you cut this motherfucker's head off, and he just picks it up and puts it back on his shoulders and goes, "See you in a year, motherfucker."
When he goes hard though.
But they painted him fucking in like glitter.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I was like, like really? Like they made the Green Knight played by Sean Connery look a little light in the loafers.
Yeah, and
it's like a gay Green Knight. It was just like what? Like
what's the other movie where he's got those those thigh highs? It's like Zartana or something.
We're talking about Zarda. Zarda is shit.
I heard that movie's hard. I still haven't watched it yet.
This new Green Knight is almost like a continuation of the idea for me of Excalibur, where like you know the Arthurian legend, but not the way we're going to tell it. And that's the way I feel with this Green Knight. This Green Knight is imposing. They got an actor with a terrific voice to play.
Oh yeah, they did.
And
Irish
Adam Driver is so good in this. And the story is about him and his ambitions and his failings, and everything in the story is reflective of that.
You said Adam Driver?
Yeah, well, because it's Galahad, right? Galahad's like
and it's one of those movies I like because I spent several days afterwards just really thinking about it and dissecting it in my head, and
that's what I'm talking about.
Analyzing it. And I really
that's how I felt about the coffee table.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's how I felt about the coffee table. But once again, it's like a movie like The Coffee Table. It's just like Like, do I recommend it? Depends on the person. Depends on the person.
Sometimes you just gotta recommend shit and let people watch it, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
But if it's something like, depending on the person, like, you know what you're gonna like, you know what you like about this movie, it's got this. It's got a lot of action in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, you know, and I think
for me, you're like, Matt Burke likes a lot of
also-
action. It's got a lot of that.
Still.
Right.
And I think that's the
Tim
best way
Olsen
to look
asked-
at it. Like, I don't want to be a reviewer like, you know, like
Well, I don't judge anything under a microscope.
Who like oh, you know, like this film sucks because I said
I do, but not in like a dickish way.
I won't say like this is what I liked, this is what I didn't like, but you know, your mileage may vary, kind of guy.
Right.
I enjoy
movies I'll study under a microscope are the movies that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Some movies require 3 viewings. Some albums require 3 listenings.
Yes.
It just
Yes.
depends. You know, if it's
Yes,
like,
they're
if I'm like, I fucking hate
experiences.
this movie,
Yeah,
I'm not.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
I hate this. If there's no like a little bit of something like, yeah, I'm gonna come back to this.
Well,
That's one thing. But
sometimes
there's a little something like, I'm gonna come back, then I'm gonna give it two or
No, it's
three.
like when I saw
No,
music
Black
is kind of
Sword-
special like that, though. I think, in the sense that I can think of like a lot of albums, like, oh, here's like the new Peter Murphy, here's like the new whatever, right? Comes out. There's the new Slayer. Here's the new whatever band it is, right?
I'll be right back.
Here's the new Celtic Frost. You got it, brother.
Well, you know,
And I'm like, I don't like it, but I'll listen to it again. And I'm like, I still didn't like it, but I'll listen to it again. And very often those records that I didn't like the first 2 or 3 times I heard them, they are become my favorite records by those artists.
I mean,
and they
it's like,
never get old.
you know, a different perspective. Like, you know, an age changes your perspective. I remember, like, I watched Flash Gordon in the 80s, and I grew up with, like, the Flash Gordon cartoons, Saturday mornings. I grew up with the Flash Gordon comic strips, and it was coming off of Star Wars, so I was expecting something like that. And I
Right.
watched this
That's why I
goofy
thought.
movie with, you know, with Brian Blessed in it, which made me an instant fan of this guy
Right.
forever.
Yes.
But I didn't
Brian
like
Blessed.
the film. And I only liked the film when I was discussing how much I didn't like the film. And a friend of mine said, like, what are you talking about? That film is great. It's hilarious. And I went back and watched it, understanding it was a comedy. And then I was
Well,
like, oh, yeah, this film's amazingly funny. This is great.
But here's the thing: it's not a comedy. It's just very campy.
Yeah.
And it's very Italian. Basically, it's like the director was like, "I'm going to just do Mario Bava."
Right.
The
You know, he
film
was
directed by Mario Bava.
he was doing
And the
that.
reason
He
why
was doing
Star
that.
Wars was such a huge hit was because it was taking Flash Gordon
And, you know, maybe
and
if
it was playing
seen,
it straight.
maybe if I'd seen Barbarella, you know, when that came out years before this,
Yeah.
I would have appreciated it more because that's in the same vein.
Right. It's camp. That's very campy, but that's also made by a director that doesn't understand comic books.
All right, can I get a word in here somewhere?
Yeah, boy.
Way back when you were talking about how you not sure if you should
I'm
recommend.
doing a little mezcal here tonight, so if I'm a little out of control, I apologize.
You were talking about how you're not sure who you should recommend to, or if you should recommend something, or reviewing something or whatever. It's like, look,
Right.
I don't live in nobody else's head but mine.
Right.
I don't know if you're gonna like it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Sometimes
I don't know. The whole point is that nobody knows what's in somebody else's head. I mean, this dude told me once, you need to go watch this movie called Pay It Forward. It has a really good message, right? Which it did, except for the fact that I had an 11-year-old son. And what happens during the end of that movie? A little 11-year-old kid gets stabbed to death.
Right, you don't need to be seeing that.
I wanted to go rip that dude's head off the next fucking day, right?
Right.
No, I
You
get
see-
that. Like I
Well,
like
He wasn't in my head though.
Charlie-
He was thinking, "This is a great movie. This movie has a
Right.
great message. You should
And
go
it is.
watch this." And it was like,
No, it's
but
it's
there's
great.
the opposite of this too.
you
Well,
know,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Go
but
ahead,
like-
John.
I get that because like everybody tells me because like I love Clint Eastwood as director. $1 Million Baby, I'm sure, is a fantastic drama. Like but I've never watched it because I know how it ends, and it's like I don't want to see that. I don't want to be taken on that journey just to see it in that way. Fuck
Maybe
no.
one of these days if I'm in the right mood, right? But
Yeah,
but then
'cause
also there's a case where you see something or you read something or you hear something and you enjoy it, but you have a friend that is going to lose their minds over.
Yeah, like for instance, like when I watched 8 Pounds with Will Smith,
yeah,
I was able to handle that better because of how it resolved all these other people's stories. But like $1 Million Baby is like, nah, I want no part of that.
To the 79 of you on Twitter, thanks for watching.
Wow,
thank you so
79.
much.
Dude, there's way more than 79.
Twitter
We
peeps.
got we got 86
YouTube
watching
peeps.
on Brian's. We got
Facebook peeps.
28 on Critical Blast Twitter, 11 more on the Madness Comic Twitter. There's like over 100 people watching on Twitter.
Well, thank you
Thank
all
you
so
so
much.
much. We really do
Those are all
appreciate
different
you.
entities.
Spank
Thank
that
you.
like button. Spank that subscribe button. Ring ding ding dong the
It's a
bell.
lucky day,
Notification.
ladies and gentlemen. It's
Appreciate it.
7-Eleven today. 7-Eleven, lucky day.
We appreciate you all hanging out, watching us get off track constantly.
Yes, because that's what we do here, right? And folks, if you haven't seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, I hate to say it. What the fuck are you doing with
Get
your
in there.
life?
It's on Tubi, right? It's on Tubi. That's where I
I think it's on YouTube, right? And this
It was
one,
on YouTube.
This one was on
I posted
YouTube?
it was on YouTube, but then
It
people are
is.
telling me it's not the English version, but it's zero fucks.
It's not a
If you
hard
don't
film
already
to find.
at least own like one copy. Really, you gotta fucking have at least one.
Dude, I want the
fucking
toy, bro.
copy.
The toy. Remember the No Name toy they came out with?
Oh
It was
my
like
God.
300 bones.
Yeah.
Oh,
We talked about that earlier.
Oh.
man.
Is it by NECA or Mecca? Is it Mecca that does it or NECA?
I think
It's
Mecca, yeah.
Sideshow,
Sideshow,
okay.
okay.
and
Well,
since it's Sideshow, you know
Wait, but
that the sculpt
Was it
is
12
going to
inches
be
tall? If it's
dope.
12 inches tall, it's probably Sideshow.
Yes.
And that's the one where Clint like went there and Clint checked it out. He's like, yeah. Okay.
got a-
okay.
Well, he
got a
wasn't
couple
doing
of
that. He wasn't
A little
doing
bit.
that. He was
A little
actually
bit.
acting like a
He
little
was
kid, which I
giggling.
thought was so
Yes.
beautiful.
Yeah.
He was just kind of like, whoa. And
Yeah.
he was just like,
It's kind of unfortunate, dude, because he could have had like a multitude of fucking a plethora of action figures, you know? Like if I
I
had
don't
characters,
understand why there
make
isn't.
them all.
I don't understand why there isn't always, for instance, as an example, a Bruce Lee cartoon, a
Yeah.
Bruce Lee comic book,
Yeah. No, Bruce Lee.
video games,
Yeah, Bruce
Bruce
Lee.
Lee, everything.
Like taking on zombies,
You could do that with
vampires,
fucking
werewolves. fucking
Schwarzenegger. Why aren't
dragon.
there any fucking Schwarzenegger games out there?
Is there
Yeah, Schwarzenegger the game. That'd be fucking
The
dope.
running-
Rambo?
the running man.
Hello?
are there
Right.
licensing issues there? I remember when Malibu put out a Bruce Lee comic book, and I loved it.
That's
but,
Mike Barron.
You know, that was the only one I've ever seen.
Well, Baron, he's a G, so you got to worry about that.
Yeah,
You know,
but
that
my
was
point
the one
is
for, like,
there
martial
should
arts and
always be
Val
like constantly
McCurry.
because
Yeah, I know I'm butchering his name. I don't remember how his last name is pronounced.
Valmeric.
Val Merrick.
Yes,
Yeah, I love his
one of the
art
great
on that.
martial arts illustrators. Did a
Yes.
great run on Master of Kung Fu. And a
Yes.
martial artist himself, like Mike Barron is.
Oh, I didn't realize about that.
That makes sense, you know?
Oh yeah, no, Mike will fuck you up.
So good.
Mike will fuck you up if you go to if you see Mike at a convention.
Mm-hmm.
Just come up behind him and just try to get him in like a chokehold or something like that, and you'll find out.
Hey, Pops!
There we go.
Pop it out, man.
What's
Pops,
up right there?
you are pure gold,
Dropping.
sir. You
There
are
it
pure
is.
gold.
Dropping it.
There it is.
For all of you martial arts geeks out there, if you have not read this series, find it. It is so worth it. It's such a great kind of fictionalized version of Bruce Lee in a world where his antagonists are fictionalized versions of Chuck Norris and Steven
That's dope.
Seagal and
That's
Van
what I'm
Damme
talking
and-
about.
That's
That's
dope,
what we should
dude.
always be doing.
Yeah, that's dope.
Always.
That's dope. I'm sorry, but that's fucking
Is there
brilliant.
is there a TPB of that?
I like that
feel
cover.
like a bitch
I really
for
like that cover right
Not
there.
as far as I know of, but if there's one, I'd like to get it now that you
Yeah.
put it in my head.
Fuck me.
Those things are
Yeah.
popping, bro. I like all those covers. They're all
They're
Oh,
dope.
yeah,
So
yeah,
great.
yeah.
I mean, look at that cover. That cover's so damn dynamic right there.
Gimme.
Those look like
Yeah,
fun. How
man.
many is there, Pops? Is that 5 or 6?
Six.
Six.
That's a good arc right there.
Yeah.
Well,
Beautiful.
one of the
That's a
things I'm
beefy
working
arc, bro.
on. One of the things I'm working on with Preston is Terry Tsurugi, the Street Fighter, which is going to be like
Yeah.
our
Chiba.
Terry Tsurugi.
Oh, man.
Now,
That-
Jeff, now
Sonny
you
Chiba.
understand how awesome fucking Sonny Chiba is.
Sonny
Like,
Chiba
a lot of
can
people haven't
outrun
realized
it.
this yet. But
I
they're
don't
gonna.
think
But
he
they're
can
gonna.
outfight him, but he can outglare him.
Oh my God! And was the founder of the Tokyo Action Club, where you had these actors that were like, "Hey, let's learn martial arts because it'll look dope on the screen. We're in front of the camera; it's gonna look fucking amazing."
There was one other thing. These had the Mortal Kombat preview.
That's right. Oh, I love that series while it was out.
Yeah, there was a couple of these that had Mortal Kombat inside.
I don't remember who the artist was, but like whoever was doing the Mortal Kombat stuff back then was doing their best to go mad that they could.
Dude,
and then it was still distinctly their own. Like,
see, this is the funny shit that I talk about, though, guys. When I met Mike Baron, I owned all these comics. I didn't know he wrote this shit.
You didn't know. You didn't know. I was like, he was one of the guys that I idolized in high school, man. It was all about him. It was all about Chuck Dixon. It was all about John Ostrander.
But see, you're a writer,
about Steve Gerber. There was like there were those dudes, right? There were those guys, and like Mike and Chuck were two of those guys.
Oh man, I had.
But you're a writer, right? Yes. You see what I'm saying? I was just a comic fan, Bruce Lee fan. I was
right.
Like,
it was all the artists back then.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I meet Mike.
That was my first experience with Val there as the art, and I became an instant fan. And just in 2018, right before everything went crazy, I had the pleasure of actually meeting Sonny Chiba here in America.
Oh, fuck you!
GalaxyCon. that was outstanding. Like,
nice.
I got to meet so many people in 2018. I never thought I would get to meet. I got to meet.
Wow.
Good year.
I got to a picture and a signed autograph from the guy who played Ultraman.
Nice.
The guy who played Godzilla in 1954.
Oh my God!
It's Sonny freaking Chiba. And I was like, that Bruce Campbell was at this con. I was like, oh man, I really want to meet Bruce
I'm gonna meet Bruce Campbell, dude.
But I was like, Godzilla over here is 94 years old.
Jeff?
This is gonna be my one shot. I never thought I'd see this guy
in
America. So I had to go get his autograph right away.
No, like you got to make those connections before you or they pass.
Absolutely.
Life's is short.
Don't be shy.
We lost Shelley Duvall.
I know. Rest in peace, Shelley Duvall.
Here's some
irony really quick. I'm sorry. I got to take over. Jeff, this is for you.
Can I tell you something? What? Fuck you.
I love that.
Sorry. It's not personal. I had to get that shit out of my system.
That's a good one.
I was at a
What's Sonny Chiba like?
He was, he barely speaks English.
Right.
He really only learns it for American roles, like when he did some movies with Kill Bill or Roddy Piper, that movie they did together.
In Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
But, he was a really, really super nice guy. And happy to hear that. At his age, man, he still was incredibly fit. I was
martial artist,
when he passed away.
The martial artists, that's the thing. It's like you see these cats and they're old and they're not decrepit.
Yeah, and the same
it's
thing.
like they're moving around.
Limble as fuck.
And forgive me because I can't remember his name, but the same thing for the guy who played Ultraman back in the 60s, because he was a judo practitioner, and both these guys move like cats, man. They're so
my grandpa
graceful,
did. He did judo.
So smooth.
Yeah.
And it was such a pleasure as somebody who had, I used to study martial arts quite a bit, but I got out of it after I got married. I just didn't have time for it anymore.
Yeah, no.
But I still appreciate it. And to look at these guys who are they're in their 50s and 60s and they're still fit and trim. And you're like, that guy can probably kick my ass. But he's sitting there with the nicest smile. And I got to take a picture with Ultraman doing the Space and Beam thing. And then
that's what it's all about, man.
Well,
that's what it's all about. It's all about love. It's all about love.
Master, like when you're in a dojo, you know how they correct your form? He went over and corrected my form, so I was in the proper form.
Yes.
Yes. One of those moments, right?
Yes.
It's crazy because, I was like, okay, I've got to get this autograph with Godzilla.
Well,
because he's 94. And at a con, Tim Curry's had a stroke. They had the entire cast of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I love to meet Tim Curry, man.
And I wanted to meet everybody, but I just didn't have time because I was only there for the day, and the lines were so long. And oh my God, Meatloaf was talking to everybody for like 30 minutes at a time. The dude just loved to talk to his fans. And so I was like, okay, I better get Tim Curry. Tim Curry's not in great shape. I'll probably never get a chance to see Tim Curry. I got to meet and greet with Tim Curry. I got a photo with him. It was amazing. And then fucking Meatloaf died on me. It's like, what the hell, Meatloaf?
That's what I mean, dude. They're
You're
gone.
in so much better
right?
shape than
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like for me, like real quick, there's a bunch of bands like that I don't like, you know, that are whatever, like AC/DC. They're all right. I'll go fucking watch them now because they're gonna fucking die pretty soon. You know what I mean? They're just gonna be gone. You know what I mean? Like you gotta go watch these bands, you know. So
there's only one band that I haven't seen that I want to see. That there's only one that I've like missed out on in their prime that I really kicked myself in the ass about, and that's Tesla.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I gotta do it, Pops. You know, I seen Koepp.
I was so happy that
I've finally seen them.
Pills and Nephilim.
Kiss are gone.
That's the biggest one.
Kiss are done, dude. They're done, bro.
Well,
I mean, Gene doing shows, but
they got together because, like, I was a kid when Kiss was, you know, super popular, and the original team got together for the farewell tour, and I finally got to see Kiss in concert with all the original dudes.
How long ago was that? This year or what?
Damn.
Oh no, that was back in like '99.
Oh, fuck.
I've seen Kiss about 10 times, man. I seen
They're
them.
done, dude. They sold their likenesses for like $200 million to some company in Sweden. So now they're just gonna have AI and holograms play their shit live.
The only one that I care about
Simmons
now,
is playing
I
live.
feel
He's playing
like
his
Ace.
songs and he's doing cover songs and his own songs now. Which I
I
think
still like Ace because he still goes out and jams.
He's playing live shows.
It on to like the #1 tribute band. That would have been cool.
Yeah,
but
I just
don't
like
blame him
Ace.
because you know that's Gene.
I like
Gene's
Gene.
always looking for the money angle.
Yeah, I like Gene's character, you know. And I still gotta pick up the fucking Psycho Circus books, man. by Medina. Fuck.
You gonna make me dig out Psycho Circus books too?
Oh man, and all that art by Angel Medina.
Medina, sorry.
Yes.
I don't know why I call him
Who's
Jorge.
the other guy? Like
specifically Angel Medina. Fuck that art.
Clay Creighton. No, Creighton.
Clayton Crane.
Crane.
Clayton Crane. Yeah, he's dope too.
Medina and Crane, man, like a phenomenal series visually as well, and some really good writing in there too.
You're not gonna make me dig out those Psycho Circus books too, are you, Matt?
That's the one I'm talking. The one by Angel Medina. Psycho Circus. That's the ones I want, dude.
The McFarlane imprint.
There's some real quick. There's just some really dope like '90s books that just have this immaculate art. You know, there's probably like from just
and it was
like
great because
Top Cow and oh my god, there's just so many.
One of his issues with Marvel is like, you know, you look at Psycho Circus and Medina likes to do like lots of line rendering. He's got so much cross hashing and detail and stuff. And when he was working on like the Infinity Watch at Marvel, the inkers would always tone down his artwork, and that just bugged the shit out of him. So like when he got a chance to do Kiss, he just went flat out and got to do everything Marvel wouldn't let him do.
That's so cool.
That's awesome. Fellas, can I interrupt really quickly?
Sure.
We are going to still be doing the Spaghetti Western Jamboree. However, a lot of people have been saying, like, why don't you do, like, some Kung Fu theater?
Man, I've been saying that. You should do that every 3 weeks.
Exactly. And guess what? We are going to be doing that, and this is the world premiere of, like, the intro video, which is...
fuck yeah. Can't wait, brother.
Long, but...
I seen you dropping it, but I never watched it. So I want to
check it out. You can check it out right now.
Here we go. Let's see.
This is all AI music, by the way.
Shadows in the night, twitch sauce on the screen, ancient full flip clock games,
this, of course, from the Five Deadly Venoms.
That's what I thought.
So hyped up.
Kung Fu and Zen, 20-inch blade flips kill within 10. Assassin's Creed.
The thing is, it's like, if you like go through like my DVD Blu-ray collection, you're gonna discover certain genres are really standing out. First of all, of course, horror, right?
Yeah. Number one.
That's first and foremost.
Yeah.
But you're also gonna notice a lot of westerns, and you're also gonna notice a lot of fucking kung fu.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I'm down, bro.
And this is a genre that, once again, it's like I can talk about this shit in my sleep, right? That was the whole concept behind the
Gordon Liu!
It's like, what can I talk about? Yup. There's this Chambers beyond the three-sectional staff. He invents the three-sectional staff.
I love three-sectional staff work. I love it.
Yeah, man. He's still with us in very ill health, unfortunately.
I have managed to hit myself in the head with it a couple of times practicing.
Oh yeah, no. I'm one of those guys that, like, rather than go to the gym, I like to buy really esoteric weapons and then learn how to use them, because there's tutorial videos for everything. And I've actually fucked with the three-sectional staff for like 20 years, and I don't pretend to be good with it. Certainly not Gordon Liu style, but I actually can roll one of those things around without killing myself.
This movie is particularly fun because it shows the development of the three-sectional.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, it's all about the training sequence, dude.
Like
the dopest fucking training sequence of all time.
Like how he gets
it takes up the entire second act of the movie.
And when he gets the pieces of bamboo and they break, but they don't break all the way, and he starts to figure things out. And like, hey, wait a second.
Yep, he invents the three-section staff. Yep, and this, of course, is 8-diagram pole fighter.
Oh yeah,
which was Fu Shang. Was the star of this, but then he died in a car accident while they were filming it. And so they made Gordon Liu's character was the secondary character, the main character. And another classic.
What up, Oliver?
Shaw Brothers in the house. What up, Ollie?
What's up, Ollie?
You already sang it for me. Today's my birthday.
If I knew how, I would, brother. If I knew how I would.
Best I can give you is a Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
His book's launching on the
25th.
On Backdrop. The 656 universe. Shit's fucking launching.
Oh my god, they're incredible.
Go sign up.
Yes.
I will say,
find a link.
Everybody. If you don't know what the deal with 656 is, once again, it's like with the good, the bad, the ugly. What are you doing with your life? Check those guys out.
Just don't get on the bus. Just don't get on the bus.
I will say one thing.
Get on the bus.
Yes, don't get on that bus.
One thing about AI that's got to be great for people who on YouTube who like to make shorts and movies now, because it always used to be such a hard time to find music that you can use without getting dinged for copyright.
Yeah.
You know, everybody was using Kevin MacLeod, and you can tell everybody was using Kevin MacLeod because he puts his stuff out there and you just have to use it. But now with the AI, you can custom music to your video, right? You don't have to worry about it. So I will give AI that, because not everybody has somebody who can score their stuff for them.
Right. And
music is done, son. Music is done.
It's look.
Music is dead now.
AI is never going to replace artists. It is never going to replace artists.
It will.
I don't believe that.
It will.
I believe that because the thing is AI is still operating from something. It's taking art and making new art. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
without that foundation. And the thing is AI is never going to be able to move the human heart the way that an actual human being can. But if you listen to this, and this was like one of the songs that came out, I thought especially nice. I mean, this is because, of course, the reason why am I using AI music is because I can't use other music because that'll get me fucking copyright struck.
Exactly.
So I fucked around with AI music and ended up with some stuff that sounded pretty cool.
This was such a great fight.
Yeah, man. Fucking Fury.
Yeah, the remake of a Bruce Lee flick.
Classic.
That's always link right there. You guys sign up. Sign up for the 6x6 Border Horror All Stars. That's 20 years.
Oh, thanks.
Right? They've
There
had the
it
border
is.
horror genre. 20 years of characters. You guys get in there. It's gonna be a fucking dope ass thing. I promise.
Brother, you're on point. I'm a lazy
The books are done when they
drop that. Thank you.
done or almost done when they launch. You ain't gonna be waiting too long with anything. Get in there, sign up, back the book when they launch. I know I'm gonna
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
It's gonna be
Those
on
guys
point.
are killing it, and they're future rock stars. They're future rock stars, so get in on the ground floor. Or don't and be a basic bitch.
Is that Jet
But
Li?
you know you want to be a winner and not a wiener, so check these guys out. They're fire.
I love the leaves.
I believe this is
I love the leaves.
Fury, which was his take on the Chinese Connection by Bruce Lee.
Yes. AKA Fist of Fury, because they switched the titles around when they brought them to the United States. It's just so convoluted.
That sounds like Wu-Tang.
There's Jet Li again in Black Mask.
Yep.
And people, if you're going to watch Black Mask, don't watch the American version. Do
Yeah,
not
no,
watch the
right?
Miramax version that was released in theaters. Don't
That's
fucking
like
watch
Kato
that.
right there.
Don't
That's like
connect
full
yourself.
fucking kung fu right
Yeah,
there.
he's very much Kato-esque.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
like
yeah.
Pulp- That's like Pulp Fu.
Over there.
Ooh,
One of my
fucking axe
favorite
kick, man.
things here is like the main villain he fights wears a cape, which is so impractical in a fight. But you know the Hong Kong guys know
It's
how to make it
fantasy.
look really cool and look really effective. And so the
And that's
villain
what it's all
actually
about, is
uses
making it
the
look
cape
cool.
as a distraction device when he's fighting Jet Li.
Like me
Yep.
for comic books, I'm always gonna be that asshole that's like, dude, I don't want to see the wind up and then the dude flying through the wall afterwards. I want to see all of this noodling in there. As far as paneling goes, guys. Like I want to see the fights. I want to see the connect. And I've been talking about that for years, and it's just like
That's why, like, one of my
it's a lot of time that goes into that too for comics, dude. All the storyboarding, the creating the gags of all the fights, the fight choreography in
Oh
the
my
comic
god,
book.
it's just
We
so
need
important.
more of that, and that's what I like love about Mike Garner stuff too.
That's
You know?
a pet peeve of mine.
He's the
I hate
master.
seeing like when a comic book guy's doing a wind up on this side.
Yes,
And when
yes,
you see the guy get hit, it's with the wrong hand and the face is going in the wrong direction.
yeah. The continuity
Come on, guys.
specialist wasn't on point.
Like you said, do that kind of like a storyboard, and that's one of the reasons I love John Buscema's work so much.
Yeah.
Because, like, you would see those huge impacts, and again, like with his with Sal Buscema as well, both of the Buscemas were great. I like showing you those thundering impacts when somebody got hit.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, he's been a big influence on me
Mm-hmm.
as of late, specifically.
And you know, and they picked up that style from Kirby, so you know they learned from the master.
And Buscema, he was like a real, he cited Kirby in one of the big interviews he did.
I love
you know?
this movie. This movie was great.
Heroic trio, man, and the sequel, Executioners, man. You know what kills me? You know what pisses me off about this movie? You got Anita Mui, right, who was the Madonna of Asia.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Michelle Yeoh, Yo, and then you've got Maggie Cheung, right? Three super fucking fly Chinese chicks, right? And Executioners, the Heroic Trio sequel, they're all in a bathtub together. Yeah, boy. But then Maggie Cheung's character, Anita Mui's character, Wonder Woman, she has a daughter, right? Because now she has a domestic life, and so the little bathtub. And it ruins the whole fucking fantasy. I'm like, get that adorable little child, give her some toys, get her out of there, get her out so I can get in that fucking tub, get in that fucking soup, baby.
Total side quest. Total
You
side
ruined
quest.
the fantasy.
But not a complete side quest, dude. But like, you look at the Blade movies, right? Remember all the action that they had in there, and it was like proto fucking Marvel, Disney, and Paramount and whatnot. All the action, it was like this, right? To a certain degree, and then we never got it again. We barely got it in like fucking
they
Winter
got one
Soldier.
thing.
That was like the only movie was Winter
For
Soldier.
the Matrix movies and shit like that. But
Well, I mean
I
with
would
Marvel.
say,
Just with Marvel.
yeah.
Speaking
Well,
Marvel,
I mean,
Marvel
like the
speak.
Shang-Chi movie
Just with the
been,
fucking Winter Soldier, that was the only movie we got it.
The
We
only
never
movie.
fucking got it. They made like 20
I
fucking
would
movies.
say
Because they're idiots.
not just Winter Soldier, but anything the Russo brothers were doing, you got like top flight fight choreography.
Yes, because
Extraction was good. I like Extraction.
International
But that was, I mean, just as far as the Marvel bullshit, you know.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Marvel bullshit. And like, you know, even this is my favorite fight of all time.
Is this Drunken Master? Oh yeah, I love this movie.
For me, this is the martial arts fight ever. Jackie Chan doing like Drunken Style.
This is my favorite movie by him.
Yeah,
this one in Rumble in the Bronx.
It might be his best. It might be his best.
I think it's his best work.
Just the action's on point. I can relate to the character a lot.
Yes.
You know, I've been that drunken motherfucker that can just take on the world.
Fun fact, this guy he's fighting right now is actually his personal bodyguard, or he was at the time.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Big Clark Kent looking motherfuckers from Asia.
Yes.
Jackie Chan was asked, like, who's like your favorite actor to work with in a fight scene? And he said Benny the Jet Irquidez. Right. And what happened was they were making a movie called Meals on Wheels. I'm sorry, Wheels on Meals.
Yeah, Wheels on Meals.
How dare you, Brian?
And while they're shooting their epic slugfest, Jackie Chan just kind of has a feeling about this guy, and he's just like, "Hey, how about we just lay into each other?"
Right,
like maniac to maniac. How about we just cut loose and we just actually start fucking connecting?
Now, the funny thing was,
Irquidez looked at him, and just his eyes went wide, and then he had like this expression on his face, like a little boy on Christmas morning, like, yeah. Because like, Benny, and the next day they're all like,
he let this rumor get started around the set that he was going to fuck up Benny.
Really? I didn't know about that.
Like, Benny's like, is this guy going to fight me for real? Like, I'm a world champion, man. I destroy people for a living.
But you know what's funny? I remember seeing some footage of a Benny the Jet Irquidez fight, and it's just like suddenly it's just like the bell rang, right? And he had this guy almost backed up in a corner, and ding ding, and he put his arms out like this, and he just grinned and he just smiled at the guy. And it wasn't a look like, yeah, that's right, motherfucker, I'm kicking your ass. It was this expression like, isn't this fucking great?
Yeah. Joyous.
Benny the Jet Irquidez.
It was joyous. He was just like, isn't this great? There was no fucking malice, no hostility in it. Just like, yeah, we're beating the crap out of each other.
You know who Benny the Jet Irquidez is? Benny the Jet is like, he's Goku. He just loves to fight.
Yeah. I would not. Yeah, a genuine badass motherfucker, right? Did fight choreography in a lot of movies. Did a lot of mainstream shit too. The assassin in A Grosse Point Blank, right? Where he has this big fight with what's his face?
Which one?
Fucking. Why am I blanking on his name? The guy from 1408.
John Cusack. Yes.
John Cusack.
The Grosse Point Blank.
Yes. I'm thinking like people that don't know martial arts movies might know him from that.
Well, he learned how to fight. He'd actually been training in kickboxing for a while under Benny Irquidez.
That's right. Specifically for that scene.
If you'll remember, what was that romantic comedy he did? Say Anything. He's doing Say Anything, and this character in there is training in kickboxing, and he tells the girl's dad he believes it's the sport of the future, and that's when he had started training, and so that's why their fight looks so good, because this guy
he kept up with it.
They really know how to fight together.
Oh, so he's like one of those cats like Keanu, where it's like he learned it and then he kept up with it.
Yeah, he became a real enthusiast.
Nice. Right, because then he was like, hey, there's something about this that I love. There's something about this that's good.
I love it. Like, this just freaks him out.
That's it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's trying to do the crazy leg thing, and it's just like, yeah, it ain't working. And yes, people, Drunken Style is an actual style.
Yes, it is.
But fun fact, you don't have to be drunk. It's actually very deceptive.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah, is to like basically get your opponent off balance by like bobbing and weaving as if you were
Animalistic side, you know.
Mm.
Well, that's drunken monkey. Monkey style is a thing, and yeah, drunken monkey is a thing too.
Remember Bo Ray Cho
No.
from
Yeah, I
Mortal
know that.
Kombat? So he stole the.
okay, yeah.
He was a heavyset guy based on, you know,
Sammo Hung.
off of this character. But if you break the name down,
From the video game. From the video game.
yeah, and if you break the name down, it's borracho, which means drunk in Spanish.
Yes.
You know, it's fucking the Mortal Kombat guys are American, so you know they know what they're doing. You know, you're fucking borracho.
Oh, well, if you want a video game that's got all of the great classic martial arts actors in it, it's called Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang and Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang.
I remember
It's a
that.
little indie game, highly recommended. And it actually plays like all like the fighting styles are accurate, 100%.
Well, remember
I always remember that scene, that one kick, dude, right there.
Yeah, man.
You remember Virtual
Oh,
Fighter?
here we go.
Ah!
That's some Ultimate Warrior shit, like on fucking.
You know what bugs me is like
Later for you, bro.
if you remember the game Virtual Fighter, they took their Bruce Lee clone and he fought like Bruce Lee. He fought like a Jeet Kune Do style, but like they put Bruce Lee into these MMA games and he doesn't fight like Bruce Lee at all. It's very
Right.
for
But if
Bruce
you
Lee
play
fan.
that game, Shaolin versus Wu-Tang, he fights exactly like Bruce Lee. Sonny Chiba
Right.
fights exactly like Sonny Chiba, but specifically Terry Tsurugi's Street Fighter. Sonny Chiba. It's amazing. It's like a genuine joy. So anyway, folks, that's gonna be coming soon. I'm thinking our first movie is probably you're down with it, Matt?
Fucking
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And the thing is, it's like Tubi and the other Plex, the other streaming services, they're loaded down with this shit right now.
Fuck, dude. Oh man, I can only imagine, dude. Just like
the cool shit.
Smoking a fat bowl, just watching some kung fu. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
some
man.
ramen.
I'm thinking.
Oh my god, dude.
I'm thinking for the first movie
unit or a Roku TV, there is the Hi-Ya channel. Which
yes, there is. Yes, run by Robert Rodriguez. Actually,
my boy, dude.
Yeah.
Someone was
you
saying
gotta see all the
he's
Fly
the guy,
shit on
dude.
there, all the fucking Shaw Brothers shit. And the thing that's amazing about the Shaw Brothers movies is that, I mean, they clearly took really good care of those films because they're pristine.
Yeah.
They're pristine. At my Alamo in Yonkers, they had this is before the lockdown. They don't do cool shit like this since, unfortunately. But before the lockdown, they would have film festivals, and they had like fucking Shaw Brothers Festival. I got to see One Armed Swordsman. I got to see Come Drink With Me. I got to see Five Deadly Venoms. I got to see 36 Chambers of Shaolin. And those movies, whether you see them on the big screen or whether you see them on digital or whatever new format's coming out, right? 4K now. They're pristine. There's like zero print damage on those movies. Clearly, they took them and they kept them in a fucking vault.
You know what's interesting about
temperature
that
controlled and shit.
Is Hollywood is the premier spot for like cinema in the world. We all know it, right? And yet, how many films have Hollywood put out that are lost? Like you find, like, we found
take care of shit.
We found all these reels of film in a salt cave,
right? Because nobody's going to want to. Right? Because nobody's going to watch that. They're going to only watch the new shit. They're only going to want to watch the stuff that just came out.
But all these foreign entities cared about what they were making.
Fuck yeah, they did.
And
dude, like, I don't even want to fuck with no new shit. I just want to go.
That's what I'm saying. And I mean, not to be like dickish, because look, it's as simple. It's as simple.
This motherfucker right here, Brian Christgau.
The shit
put me out some shit
that's awesome. That's coming out now. We're gonna know about in 15 years from now.
But there is some gems. But like
there are
said,
gems, and you do keep your ear to the ground. And
I think Longlegs is going to be a good one.
Shit.
I think Longlegs has some potential.
I can't wait to see Monkey Man myself.
I don't know why. It's going to be good or bad.
The new Nosferatu. I'm hoping Eggers is going to bring fucking Gotham.
Oh, come on,
dude!
man.
It comes out on Christmas Day, bro. Like, I really want to go on Christmas and watch it.
I
You
know.
know, like my family, we watched all the Lord of the Rings on Christmas Day. They would drop them, and that's what we would do. We'd open presents. We eat our Cinnabons and bacon and apple cider, right? Ooh, but it was bomb. And then we would go and watch the fucking Lord of the Rings, and I loved it. You know, and
so like you said, we've got Bill Skarsgård and we got Eggers. That's going to be how can
Fire.
it go wrong?
well, yeah, and then you got fucking Halt, and then you got Kick-Ass in there. Was it Alan Taylor Johnson? He's a badass actor. You got Johnny Depp's daughter. You got Willem the Fuck Dafoe playing the fucking Van Helsing rather than actually the vampire that ate people in that other crazy movie.
The
Vampire, which was
right,
produced by
Count Orlok.
Nicolas Cage. Count Orlok. Oh man, I'm
Graf-
so excited for that.
Orlok.
And
It's
the
gonna be dope.
visuals. I had a meeting last night with my buddy. You know, we're going to be working on a tabletop gaming, and I'm going to be doing some characters with him. You know, and
I can't wait to start
he
seeing
showed me this book. He gave me a bunch of characters. I'm going to ink it for him. We're going to see if my style, you know, we mesh. If not, but anyways, he showed me the book, and like I saw the sigil on the cover, you know, for one of this tabletop, you know, D&D type stuff, you know, and I'm like, that's Nosferatu. They don't put the pentagram in there. Eggers isn't rocking the pentagram. He's rocking a different type of sigil. If you know what I'm talking about, and you look at the trailer and you see there's that moment like in the Bram Stoker's Dracula movie where Anthony Hopkins opens the book. He's Van Helsing, and you know you got the Dracula, and he's having that scene, you know.
Oh, he hamps it up so hard. Yeah,
I think there's going to be that scene in there with Willem, and but when he opens it, it's not a pentagram sigil. It's a different type of sigil. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, I get down with that. You know,
Well, you know,
he's not called Count Orlok in this. He's just called Dracula.
What?
He is Orlok in this. This is
fuck that. I want him to be Orlok, dude.
Well, it doesn't matter because the only reason they called him Count Orlok in the first place was because they didn't have the legal rights.
I know.
This is why Bram Stoker's widow sued them.
But I want that parallel. I want that parallel reality.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Count Orlok. It does take place in Germany, so it's very much a remake of Nosferatu.
That's what I want.
I also
like that wiggle room too. You know?
Okay, all right.
And that they're giving it their own spin with like the woman that he ends up pursuing. She has, some sort of haunted state about her, and that's why they connect. And he's kind of drawn.
That's like the Loki movie that like everyone's like, yeah, I want to watch that motherfucker. That's the one. That's the one.
For sure.
And it's like, and when I see Orlok, he's got that little like fucking little shred of hair coming, out the back, and then he's got that furry fucking like Craven penguin like collar. I'm like, I can't wait to see what they do. Like, and I don't want to see him. And I saw an interview with Bill, and he was talking about this, and he was talking about fucking Pennywise, and he was talking about competing with his brother. And he's like, yeah, dude, I'm the better fucking actor. You know what I mean? And there's that competition between him and his older brother, and I like that.
Well, you know what's interesting? That guy could be, super happening, LA, fucking dating, fucking whoever like the current hot chick is. He's totally
young, good-looking guy like that who stars.
Yeah. Oh my god, right? And then you see him in something like Barbarian, where that entire first act is predicated on his performance and how damn charming he is.
Yeah, he carries the movie. He's like, here you go. Oh, he's got this baby in his hands, right? And he's like, and then he hands it off, and then the genre changes.
And
he didn't carry the movie. You wouldn't give a fuck about the crazy shit that happened throughout the movie.
And look at this. He's a guy who knows his star's rising. Like he is basically the new It kid.
Yeah, he's not fucking around with Hollywood.
He's not going the Zendaya route. He's willing to die off in the first 15 minutes of a movie because he serves the story.
Yes,
he's an artist, dude. They're both artists.
Star all the way through.
Yes.
He's a real artist.
That's a brilliant performance because the whole time you're trying to see this through the eyes of a chick, and you're thinking, damn, this dude's cute. This dude's sexy. He's charming. He's almost a little too good.
You're worried he's going to be creepy. You know
it's weird.
Right. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Yeah.
Like 10 seconds. That movie's already on Iconoclast. They're already making comic book covers of that movie.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Variants. Comic book. I'm looking at Diamond, right? Because I still, and there's fucking dude. They're using the Barbarian cover when they're looking down the stairwell. It's all black and red. The movie cover, and they're doing that the comic book covers. It's already hit the iconoclast of fucking pop culture.
Right.
That movie's pretty dope.
Right.
But I think that Alexander, he's in that fucking kind of like artist mode, you know, for sure. Bill though, he don't give a fuck. They're just fucking
both of them.
They're just hosing him down with rolls.
Of course, like
Well,
we got
there's hosing
those
him
guys
down with rolls.
Yeah,
But
they're
he's
not
artist,
they're not like seduced by Hollywood. They don't live in Hollywood. They live in Stockholm, Sweden.
Well, here's
they live in Gothenburg.
Gothenburg. Sorry,
Their dad,
Gutenberg.
Stellan.
they grew up in Stockholm. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and their father Stellan, who is an amazing actor in his own right.
Yeah, he is.
What he used to do is, in order to not be separated from his family, at his own expense, he would have his family travel with him when he was doing movies.
He's John Romita Jr.
That way you stay married.
He's John Romita Jr.
Your family stays together.
Dad.
And so they got the experience of like seeing what it was like being a movie maker, seeing the ins and outs, the uglies and the pretties, but still having that nice family cohesion. And so they're not going to go Hollywood and get ruined like so many others.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, I think at the end of the day, they're really striving for that artistry, you know. And the dad, he's very John Romita Jr. And the fact that he works to get the deadline, he's fucking working. If you look at his, and I respect people that do that. Nicolas Cage, Samuel L. Jackson, fucking
grinding.
I just fucking grinding. You know what I mean? Just get in there and just make those fucking movies. You know what I mean? Get in there, get there with like a fucking pulp, like a pulp story.
Right.
Get in there and just fucking make something entertaining and get the fuck out. You know,
it is always cool when you see people that are based and they're just kind of like they realize, and I wouldn't doubt that their father was probably like, I've been to Hollywood. It's just like, just be aware.
Well, I mean that's a given. There's a lot of pedophiles in Hollywood. And a lot of producing pedophiles.
Matters in life.
Yeah, I love people like Chris Hemsworth and Keanu Reeves who do not live the Hollywood lifestyle. Like Denzel Washington.
Oh yeah.
He famously said in an interview, somebody's asking him about his Hollywood friends. He's like, I don't have Hollywood friends.
Right.
Fuck those motherfuckers.
Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez, when he did El Mariachi, and suddenly like all these different studios were making offers to him, he's to his agent because he went to LA for the first time. He looked around and he was like, take the offer, not the one that's offering the most money, but the one that doesn't require me to live here.
I want him to make a fucking Conan movie in Texas.
That's the deal that I want, and that's the deal that he took.
I want him to make a Conan movie, dude.
This place is sick. These people are sick, and with
Henry Cavill, I want Cavill to play a fucking Buscema Conan. That's what I want, and I want Jason Clarke to play Thought.
Yeah, I want you guys might hate me for this, but I want Jason Momoa to get another shot at Conan. I liked him as Conan quite a bit.
My second.
He's
perfect.
Have a problem with him as Conan.
He's perfect.
That's
wasn't
not
his
what's
fault.
wrong with that movie. He's
but
not
my
what's
second
wrong
would
with
be.
that fucking movie.
Not what's wrong with it.
My second would be Henry Cavill.
What's wrong with that fucking movie?
A lot of people are like Henry Cavill, but he's so like mainstream and like what the fuck up. And he looks like a Buscema Conan. If you look
he
at
looks
Henry
exactly
Cavill,
like the fucking character.
Break his fucking nose, chop up his bangs a little bit, dude. He looks like a Buscema Conan. And everyone's got that Witcher on their fucking skull.
No, and he's
I know.
As far as that goes, he's got the black hair, he's got the blue eyes, so he could actually be the most authentic Conan there is.
Yeah, for sure.
I've gotten arguments with people
but
in that.
We're not going to get that because he's canceled. His
Conan's
career
canceled too, though. But you never know. Conan's kind of canceled in a way too.
He's going to be.
He's toxic masculinity, so they don't fuck with that.
Which is why.
But you got this counterculture movement coming up. It's coming up.
And
so eventually these fucking ankle biting like streaming sites are gonna fucking bite. They're gonna bite hard, and they're gonna want that shit.
Dude,
say it's
remember there was the
announcement.
Say
Trump takes over, you might get some of that. You might get hey, let's make a fucking let's make a Conan movie. Let's make a Conan TV show on Amazon on Netflix. They might want to do it. They might want to fucking do it. Dude. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. They were going to do a Conan series for Amazon. It got canceled because
got canceled by some bitch.
Good.
Yeah.
No, that's good. No, I agree with you. Fuck it. Let's have it or not have it.
I'd rather have that than the fucking
have it or not have it.
Fucking Conan in it.
100%. Either do it right or don't do it at all.
We're going to do a Solomon Kane series for Netflix. Canceled. Exactly. Good. I don't want to see that shit until maybe 3 or 4 years from now.
You ain't a fan of the mullet pops?
I mean, it can be done. It can be done. I mean, like that's the thing about like Amazon.
Not in America.
You said the mullet?
Momoa is one of them.
Oh, Momoa. I thought you said the mullet. I'm like, I'm not a fan of the mullet either. Like everyone running around with their fucking their little mullet, their curly hair.
I miss them. I miss them.
No, there's
They
this
always
new
put a
mullet
smile
now.
on my face.
8 seconds. There's this new hairstyle right now. Everyone's got the curly hair and they got the
safety
mullet.
cut.
The Crow has it. The new
business in the front, party in the back.
Don't care about that. I said I'm not a fan of Momoa.
Oh, he's not a fan of Momoa, not the mullet.
Yeah, he said Momoa. Yeah,
he's one of them, man. Fuck him.
Yeah, he's kind of tailing the line, dude. You know, and
he's one of them, dude.
One of them.
Hey, I can show you some videos.
He asks or something. I can give a rat's ass as long as he shows up and he does his fucking job.
No. I can show you a video that you'd go, what? Right?
Well, hey, I guess that's why he has Cavill doesn't.
Cavill is my fucking pick for Conan. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Yeah, he's done. Unfortunately,
I kind of thought them on. I was thinking about that. I was lying in bed because somebody put a thing on Twitter last night. Yeah. You know, and like who you want for Conan? I'm like, you know, Cavill. I don't give a fuck. I know he's trendy as fuck, and everyone goes to him for Batman, Superman. But he's fucking he looks like Conan, and especially if you break the motherfucker's nose, he'll look like
Conan at a certain age.
And you sound like Conan, right? Like fucking 30, 40. And then I'm thinking Thothamon, and I'm thinking of all these like fucking badass British actors that are very serious, right? That can nail it, you know. And I'm thinking Jason Clark. I think Jason Clark would be a good. You guys know who Jason Clark is?
I was thinking of Paul Bettany. I was thinking Paul Bettany would be a really.
I thought of him too, but then I was just like, I don't know. Like but you guys know who Jason Clark is, right?
I think that's why I like Momoa as Conan so much, because he does look like the Buscema Conan.
Yes, I mean, exactly. Some people were bitching because they were like race swap. I'm like. He looks
like Howard's Conan,
like the fucking character. That's
looks like
me. End of conversation.
To me, he doesn't look like me. Somebody looks like
a lot more like him than he did Aquaman, for fuck's sake.
That's for sure.
I'll tell you, no, but if you could get somebody who can look like Conan from the Frazetta paintings with with the bangs and a couple of scars and all that, that would sell me in a heartbeat.
Well, I mean, that's not hard.
Look like that and act the part.
You really got to get the straight hair. He looks like Tony Curtis. He looks like Tony Curtis.
I tell you what.
And he has Frank Frazetta's body because Frank Frazetta took his body. You know what I mean?
Right.
I look at Cavill. You know, when I put Cavill's face on there and you scar him up and you break that motherfucker's nose and you do some concept art, dude. Cavill's perfect, dude. I'm sorry.
No, and we've seen
the other thing that I respect about
seen how fit Cavill can be.
And Conan isn't that big. He's not that tall. He's like about this. He's about 6 foot, and I think Cole is about 6'5". I think Cole is like 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". When I imagine Cole, I think a giant, a big motherfucker, and like that's to me. I'm always hammering that home. Cole's a little bigger, you know.
Hollywood is basically filled with short people, so you could just surround him with short dudes.
Well,
at any spa or any any workout fucking facility or any prison yard, you can find that guy any fucking where. You just got to teach him that.
He's got to act. He's got to deliver. He's got to deliver the fucking.
Conan's lines ain't that hard.
No. He's got to sell it. He's got to sell it. He's got to sell the unspoken word. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. His lines ain't that big of a deal. He just got to have that prison.
Nah. He's got to sell the unspoken word. It's a massive undertaking. You know, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're not playing King Lear," but I know.
That's what I always appreciated about Milius's film.
You're not going to get that out of Momoa, that's for sure.
Robert E. Howard Conan. He's a little bit deeper than people consider.
Right. And the thing is with the John Milius movie, is it Howard's Conan? No. Is it Howard's Hyboria? For sure.
Yeah, but
that's the whole spirit of the thing is pure Robert E. Howard, you know, especially at the end where he's just like, you know what? I'm not coming out of this battle alive. There's no way I'm surviving this.
I would get so mad because
as long as I can get that motherfucker and drag his ass.
You're so right, Brian. And people would be like, dude, that's not Conan. You know, like that's not the Momoa's Conan. That's not Conan. No. The Milius fucking Schwarzenegger Conan. That's not Conan. He still hasn't been made yet. And I'm like, fuck you. You motherfuckers. And I'm like, you motherfuckers are right. You guys are right.
Hey, look, I love
upon reading Conan. I'm like, you're not right.
I love the Solomon Kane movie, but is that
No,
Well, it's
and I
not
don't want to
Solomon
spoil
Kane,
it
but it was
now.
a fun flick.
But it's a good movie.
a
Like that
really
Solomon
great
Kane
movie,
movie is
but
on
it's
par
not
with Milius's Conan.
Yeah.
Sorry,
those
it
are
is.
both awesome
It is.
movies.
Fucking love it.
Not Howard. Let's get some fucking Howard. And thank goodness he's finally getting the respect that he deserves.
He is, dude.
Finally
He
getting
is.
the critical recognition.
Oh, you.
that he deserves.
I don't, if
I
there's
did
so
not
many people
think
watching,
that I would see this in my lifetime. The same way I did not think that
Yeah.
I would see H.P. Lovecraft get the respect that he so richly deserves.
pick
in
up the
my
new
lifetime.
Conan comics by Titan and by Heroic Signatures. Also, ladies and gentlemen, there is a Howard convention in Texas.
Yes,
It's about 2
every
hours
year.
a drive out of Dallas. All right, it's called Howard Days. Yeah, I
Oh,
believe the town is Great Plains. You go there, you can see Robert E. Howard's house that he wrote.
Joe Lansdale's always there.
You know, you could write
Every year.
where he wrote all the 20 characters. Howard had the biggest shared universe before Marvel and DC. He's a
Word.
fucking OG, right? He had the first occult detective. He had all the shit. He had so many fucking characters. He had the
Speaking
badass
of which,
women, the Femme Fatales. He had Valeria. He had
and-
Dark Agnes. He had so many. You guys have no fucking idea how
Brandon
badass he was.
Moore.
He was
Brian
homies with fucking H.P. Lovecraft. He brought the Eldritch God into Conan's world. You know what I mean?
And Lovecraft
Brian-
borrowed
Brian
some of
might
his
know
too.
this.
There's so much that Howard is so fucking overlooked. Oh, Tolkien. Tolkien's a badass motherfucker, but he respected Howard. Howard's 28, 29-year-old
Tolkien brought in
ass. He
fantasy,
respected him.
but Robert
He's
E.
a fucking
Howard brought in
professor.
sword and sorcery.
Yes.
Sword and sorcery.
He brought in.
Peplum. Sword
Now,
and
Brian, you might have
sandals.
seen it being the cinemaphile you are.
Low fantasy.
But on Amazon recently, I can't remember the name of it right now, but there is a great movie about the romance Robert E. Howard had with a young lady who wrote a story about
The Whole Wide
It's
World.
played by Vincent D'Onofrio. And
Yeah.
it's a terrific performance.
Yeah.
As Vincent as
Yeah.
Robert E.
And
yeah.
and he's really good.
I love
But
it.
what really makes that movie work is fucking Renee Zellweger and
Mhm.
her just balls out sincerity.
Terrific film. The,
yeah.
the two
It's a
actors have
wonderful
great
little
chemistry.
movie.
I'm gonna die, right? I'm gonna die one day, and I'm still not gonna believe all of the things from Howard that came from that man. That came
And
from
he
a guy
left
that came
us
from
at 30.
Texas
What the
at the
fuck?
turn of the
I'm in my
century
50s
with
now.
sailors and oil riggers, oil workers, right? And fucking cowboys and cattle ranchers. And they came in this town and they sat at fucking bars and they spoke with Howard. And he sat down with them and he wrote a tale.
You listen.
And he went out and he made these stories. He made this massive universe. I'm never gonna believe that when I die. There's just something weird about that. And then all these people, all these British people, all these fucking big name fucking writers, they're all by an American.
Yep.
You know, it came from him,
was one of ours.
from a kid, you know, a grown man of the age of 30 that created this character, this world, this universe. You know, I'm never gonna believe that. I'm awestruck. And to me, he is my favorite writer.
Really?
I'm just blown away by his. Fuck yeah, dude! I'm blown away by his art, and he's starting to get trendy, and I'm fucking happy that he gets trendy, and I hope he continues to get trendy.
This is a collection.
The boxer, yeah, dude, that's what I'm talking about. He always has these blue collar guys, and that sailor. What's the sailor? The sailor guy always gets his ass fucking beat.
I forget.
That's another character. Brand Much More, Dark Agnes, Valeria, Solomon Kane, Conan, Cole. Like it just keeps going on and on, dude. He created a shared universe, and a lot of these characters share the same genetic bloodline.
Yes.
And it takes place over like about 100,000 years. And it
used to be the only way that you could get books like this was from Arkham House, who were most famous, of course, for printing hardcover editions of H.P. Lovecraft, who also used to not be that easy to get a hold of. And this is a collection of his boxing stories, specifically focused on a character that is an Iron Man. That is to say, somebody that has abnormal bone densities, based on a real person that Howard was aware of. By Joe Grimm had abnormal bone density, and people could go in and they could pound on him as much as they wanted. One guy was just like, all right, that's it. This round, I'm putting this motherfucker down. Just unloaded, gave him everything he had right on his face.
That's how I used to be.
For Ring Corner, his lip was stuck between the gap in his front teeth. And his ring man needed to pry it loose with a pocket knife. And the guy's
I love that.
His opponent's like, there's no way this motherfucker is coming back from this.
My grandpa was
Grim comes out and his
boxer.
face is sliding off like a fucking, like, you know, cheese from a fucking slice of pizza. And he's like, come on, motherfucker. Ding, ding. Like, that's it. I quit.
Yeah.
However, his career was short-lived because boxing is the sweet science. And so people realized, I'm not even going to try to knock this motherfucker out because he can't be knocked out. So they would just get him on points. Because Joe Grimm couldn't really box. He would just go in there and just let people fucking, it was like the rope-a-dope, right? Where just people would just wear themselves out, just be pounding on them. And then they'd be like, and he just go in and fucking knock them out.
It's legal, right? It's legal, right?
Yeah.
It's like Merriweather. He does this.
Rope-a-dope. That was fucking Ali.
Merriweather does this in the forehead. Then he runs around and he goes,
yeah.
So basically, this guy was Rocky Balboa from the first movie when he was just a gorilla in the ring.
You get away with it.
He was just a fucking gorilla.
Yeah.
He was just a fucking gorilla. Yeah. Just a fucking, like I said, somebody with abnormal.
That's another one, dude. That's another character. The boxer dude.
Yes.
And so I'm going to say this, guys. Check it out. Heroic Signatures and conglomerate with fucking Titan. They're putting out, they're trying to expand the Howard verse. I'm so fucking happy. Right,
I am too.
And
I am too.
For you Howard purists out there, you guys got to jump on. You know what I mean? Like,
now,
just get in there. You know, this is the last chance that we're gonna have probably for a long time. Where we're gonna fucking get a Howard universe, right? We're not gonna get that Spirit Storm. It's not gonna have all the fucking woke shit, dude. You guys got to get in there and fucking check it out.
Look what I finally fucking got.
What's up, Jeff?
If they're doing the Howard verse, are they doing the actual Red Sonja, not the metal bikini, but like the?
Well, Red Sonja is not a Howard character.
She's not. Didn't he write the 18th century Russian?
No. Red Sonja is
Roy Thomas.
She's
not canonical. She's Roy Thomas.
No. I'm not talking about.
She's not in there.
Kind of like, you know what she is?
I'm talking about pulp novel Red Sonja.
No. Red
she was
Sonja
never in the pulp
novels. No.
She never appeared there.
Yeah. She's
a Marvel creation by Roy Thomas.
Okay,
she's awesome.
Let me look.
By all means, fact check.
I'm pretty sure of my facts here.
What she is that she's kind of a combination of two. She's kind of a combination of two Howard
characters. Made some badass Ben Patel's. He was ahead of the game. He made Valeria. He made Balit. I don't know if she had her own story. And he also made Dark Agnes.
And Valeria. Don't forget Valeria from
Valeria.
There's a Red Sonja who's like from the 18 or 1900s. She's Russian. She's modern. And for some reason, Roy Thomas decided to make her Hyborian.
100%.
Right. But it's not Red Sonja.
That's Russ Thomas. Or that's Roy Thomas taking this Russian archetype and putting her into Marvel Comics, putting her into the lore of Howard, the Marvel lore. But that's not her.
The character was called Red Sonja.
No,
but she wasn't Howardian.
She wasn't. Check this out. Also, I have to say I haven't read this yet, but that is the best map of Hyboria I have ever seen.
Can you go full screen, Brian?
Yeah, full screen it.
Get in there with that shit. Let me see that. And I love me some Red Sonja, and I love me the fucking movie.
Oh,
too.
For sure. Oh yeah. Well, look, we all owe a great deal of.
What? This one got some Titan. You got the first issue?
Yeah. I want to get the fucking. I want to get the. What was the first trade paperback? I want to get the Savage Sword.
You can order their floppies off the site, bro. You can order the floppies.
All right, guys, listen up. I got it right here for you.
Okay.
Red Sonja, created by writer Roy Thomas and artist Barry Windsor Smith for Marvel Comics, 1973. Partially inspired by Robert E. Howard's character Red Sonja of Ragatino.
Okay. All right. So the name, at least.
The name.
It's not the same character, but they took the name. Okay.
Of the character.
Okay,
so
and then Gotcha. So that means that he took the name, and then he took like Valeria and
because
Black Agnes and
Howard's Red Sonja was a gunslinging warrior woman of Polish-Ukrainian origin.
Interesting. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's still news to me. I don't know if that where you're pulling that information. I don't know if it's
This is from
100% accurate.
Wikipedia, is it? Because Wikipedia.
Yeah, I don't know if that's 100% accurate.
She's known for her red hair and her fiery temper to match. So Roy cherry picked what he liked and put it in the Conan.
I know that. I know she's taken out of Russian mythology.
Mind you,
history.
The reason we know about Conan is because of Roy Thomas.
Yes.
When the John Milius movie came out,
yes,
all the critics were saying this is based on a comic book.
Well, like most people, dude, most people like my age, let's just say like they know about the fucking movie. That's how they know Conan. They know about and if lucky, they know about the Marvel comics. They don't know fucking shit about Robert E. Howard. Who the fuck's a Robert E. Howard? They don't know who the fuck Robert E. Howard is. They know about the movie if they're lucky.
If they're
extremely lucky, they know about the comics. You know. And
but you know what that means. You know what that means.
And the comics were so big that they made Savage Tales. They made a rated R version of the Marvel comics were so big. Sam was like, "Hey, true believers, hey, sell some of the fuck yo. Get in there and make me some fucking rated R Conan comics."
Let's show us.
Black and white Marvel comics were the
blood
shit.
And some titties.
Exactly, and that's where Savage Tales came from. They wanted.
That's how I discovered Solomon Kane was in the back of Savage Sword of Conan.
Yeah, they want to make a rated R adult version of a magazine size version of Conan, and they have it now, guys. Go pick it up. It just came out. The Werewolf one with Carrie Nord. That's the first fucking one in there. It's $7. If you can't get it in your local comic shop in LCS, order offline from fucking Titan Signatures, or just go to ConanComics.com. You get fucking dope T-shirts on there, everything. Subscribe to Conan.com, guys. This is the time now to get into Howard, guys. I mean, we got to back him. There's not going to be shit that you agree with all the time. If you're a purist of Howard, that's fine. You're not going to agree with everything. Get in there. If anyone's watching, get in there and let's get together, guys. Let's fucking celebrate Howard, man. Let's fucking get in there and get it going.
Wasn't Carrie Nord doing the art for Conan when Dark Horse had the license?
The Busiek run.
Yeah, he did some, from my understanding. Yeah.
Yes, he was. Yeah, and I remember when those came out, telling my friends, like, holy shit,
he's going to be on David Finch's channel too this week too. Sorry, I'm going to say this real quick, Brian. Then you could stab me in the throat. Please. He's going to be on David Finch, the badass motherfucker, David Finch. Carrie Nord, the guy we're talking that did the badass Conan werewolf story. He's going to be on David Finch's, I think, on Monday, and he's going to be doing a live painting. So you guys know what David Finch? All right, he's a badass fucking artist. And Carrie Nord, he's going to be on there too. So you guys go check that out. All right.
Dude, drop those fucking links in the fucking twatters.
All right, let me get in there type shit. Let me find it.
Like that for sure. Man.
I like David Finch, man.
I want to check that shit out. Anyway, we should wrap up. It's almost 1 o'clock here. Everybody, thank you so much.
We're over 3 hours in.
we does appreciate you. Real quick, I just wanted to
the movie for the first hour.
It happens. I'm just glad I didn't have to just get stuck here in freestyle.
I might be a little late for the song.
That's all good. There is nothing.
I'm just letting you know, Brian.
But everybody, go check out the campaign for Six Gun Gorilla. Check it out. See if this is something you would be into. Everybody that reads it loves it. That's not me being braggadocious. That's just how shit turned out. Chuck Dixon, big fan. Mike Barron, a big fan. Joe Lansdale, my boy, a big fan. Yeah, it is.
Those are good people to have fans because, like, especially like reading stuff from like Mike Barron and Joe Lansdale. Like, I know this is so up their alley.
It is, and I'm happy to meet somebody else in the sphere who knows who Joe Lansdale is, because nobody else knows who Joe Lansdale is.
Bubba Hotep likes
that. That's usually what I tell them, but Brian, it's like so much other shit. Yeah.
That live stream with Carrie Nord and Finch is happening right now. So I'm just gonna drop the. Damn, dude! Oh man, they're doing Conan right now. They're doing Conan. They got a bunch of people watching.
All right,
about 2,000 people watching. So
thank you so much for hanging out, brother. Always a pleasure. Do you have? Oh, well, yeah. Well, first we got to pimp shit. Where can people find you, sir?
Bracey452 on Twitter, X, whatever the heck you want to call it. You can also go over to DeviantArt, look up Bracey100 to see all my pretty pictures of artwork I do of various characters, things. I paint, I draw, mostly digitally. I do lots of character concepts, things like that. Do comic books, comic book covers. I've done album covers and book covers. I do all kinds of stuff.
Well, remember, dude, you're always welcome here and free to pimp your stuff too. You know,
I get so excited talking about the movies I forget about. And
I know, I do too.
Also look for Blood World Phoenix Throne, the comic we've got on GoFundMe comic as well right now. I did the sweet super pimpin' cover for that. It's amazing if I do say so myself.
Drop the link. Drop the link in the chat or something. B.
I can't do that from my iPad because my iPad.
Next week.
My iPad. I need to get back to laptops, I guess.
It's all good. It's all good. And I think Pops has got us. Matt,
Pops, you are the lifesaver.
Tell these fools where they can find you and your.
You guys can find me on my channel. It's Metal Movies and Brewskis. I do reviews. I've been really leaning hard into the barbarian sword sorcery genre comics right now.
Feeling that shit.
Yeah, I do. And then I do a live show sometimes on Saturday if I can. And that's Metal Movies and Brewskis Live, where I talk about metal movies and brewskis. If you guys want to check out my books, I'm a fucking cartoonist. This is my character right here. It's Butch Cleaver. It's a supernatural horror western, gothic horror western. If you go to butchcleaver.com, that'll take you to my fundmycomic.com site. And the Fund My Comic it's like Kickstarter, but specifically for comics. Okay. And so that site, I have an in-demand store, right? And I'll mail you the fucking comics right now. I live around the corner from the post office, and you're going to get the comic. You're going to get a wanted poster of Butch Cleaver. You're going to get trading cards, stickers, bumper, a button, and it's going to be fucking awesome. And I love the book. I'm a new creator. I'm a greenhorn, but I got an entertaining story, and you guys might like it. Thanks, Brian, for for having me on. I had a fucking blast. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and stay metal, roll the bones, know your rule.
Hell yeah.
That art there looks rad as shit.
And Pops, tell people where they can find you, sir.
It's scrolling right there. Right, you're scrolling right there.
Scrolling.
The dog is scrolling.
Because we got way more than just Brian's show every week.
Yeah, sure do.
We have a ton of different shit going on here in the madness. So subscribe to the network, man. You might not like all of it, but I guarantee you'll like some of it.
Yep, you'll find something that's right up your alley.
Yeah, Pops, he has shows, interviews, and articles with lots of independent creators, but also big names like Mike Barron and Chuck Dixon pop by to say hello and show off their stuff. So
yeah, you guys watching, you might be fucking up-and-coming creators that like to draw a little bit and make comics. So you might want to come and check it out and connect with the madness, all right? And
and connect with us, too, because the thing is...
There's not that many on YouTube that are doing what Pops is doing right now. So get the fuck in there, check it out, and you don't want to miss out on it, right?
Yeah,
we're a small industry. There's probably a couple thousand of us, which is fucking.
It's kind of expanding a little bit. It's kind of expanded a little bit, Matt. We got a tabletop demo show now. We actually have another movie review show called ADHD Theater on Friday nights at 9:00.
There you go.
The Geekmen and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds do that show, and it's really good. It's like we got the RPG games with Chris Brown, and we're just doing all kinds of shit in the network now. So
so come and check it out, guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come in, keep it out, like it. Don't everything. We're doing it. We're doing it, guys.
Yeah, man. And everybody, hook your brother up with click the like button, smash the subscribe button, ring a ding ding dong the bell for notifications, and you will be kept up to date for when we stream and when we do new stuff. Pops, you want to take us out? You cool with that?
We love our sponsors.
Play
stuff here at the end.
All right, everybody. Until next week. Peace, love, and metal. Metal.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Oops, that was 11. I'm sorry. I got 12 somewhere. Yeah, she just launched the sign up for book 12 for Worthy Chaos, guys. So we'll check that one out too. Good night, everybody.
Who am I, you ask? I was created in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by the waste of a dying world. I was bestowed with an insurmountable task: bring peace after decades of death, persecution, and chaos. I am a grandchild of war, destined to help two camps which hate has fueled for far too long. Surprisingly, I am not alone. Have an odd bunch to make the road a little more bearable. Come with me, to bring hope where there was despair, respect where there was resentment, creativity where there was destruction. I am Pinocchio, and this is my story.